What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with Three Dudes. I can't talk.
Eddie's tongue-tied today.
Tongue-tied, yeah.
Have you been drinking already?
A little bit before you guys got here, I started drinking.
Let's start
man.
before us.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks for taking Friday and come and listen to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Today we have William Jobe.
Jobe.
I'm sorry.
How do you pronounce that, by
Yeah.
the way?
Joby.
Joby?
Jobe.
the E.
Jobe.
It's like Sobe?
Sorry.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
Sobe, like the drink.
Like the
It's
the-
Joby.
Like the drink, yeah.
Like the drink.
Awesome.
It's Joby. Sobe with the J.
I always thought it was Job.
A lot of people do. If I could,
That's what I
if I
think.
got a nickel for every time I corrected somebody,
Yeah.
I don't correct people anymore.
I'd be,
I don't even bother.
You're
This
just
is
like,
not even
I'd be
worth
about
it.
Yes.
50 cents richer.
Yeah, they're like Larry. Yeah, here, close enough.
Larry,
Yeah,
well, I just thought it was Job because I thought of robe. And then the
Yeah.
Job. So Job. Yeah.
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 So it's Joby, guys.
Yeah.
Joby.
There's going to be a lot of corrections today. We got a few things wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah. It's all right. We're
Kind of a loose-
Oh, that or we'll get better when we start drinking.
yeah.
maybe.
Who
The,
knows?
then the good stories will start coming out.
all
yeah.
the good stories.
That's what we're about. So today we're drinking Hibiki Harmony. It is the next. I think, Ed, you tried it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I tried it in Tucson. The bartender I was at a Batch, which is a whiskey bar, and they sell donuts, and I guess they have a really good whatchamacallit, grilled cheese. But anyways, yeah, he recommended this. I said I've been wanting to try some Japanese whiskeys. Oh, you definitely got to try the Harmony, Hibiki Harmony.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. It's good.
It's kind
It
of
is good.
It's really good.
It's good.
It's got kind of a smoky finish.
Exactly.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah,
That's
real smoky.
that's what I like that because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like smoky finishes usually, but this wasn't like too.
Yeah. It's just like
Too
the Toki.
smoky.
The Toki was kind of the same thing, but this was like more rich.
It seems like
Do you
it's a few of the similar flavors.
As Togi.
This one, I get some of them, some of the same similar flavors, but it's a lot more concentrated. Like it's the thing about the Toki is there's a lot of, well, I get some of the melon notes. I don't get those here. But from drinking it right away, it's quite different. Like the mouthfeel is quite different. The finish is good. Well, I don't know. Let's try and see if
It's
Try it
good for
again.
It's
Yeah.
good for the sinuses.
Let's try it a bunch of times, guys.
Yeah.
Let's give it a few goes.
I know.
yeah. So I get some kind of some floral notes in there.
A little bit.
Kind of hard to describe. A little bit of citrus.
Like Grandma's potpourri. I'm just playing.
No, not that. That's what it is.
It's Grandma's blend.
It reminds me of couches covered in plastic.
There you go. Oh,
On a hot summer day.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the other notes that from what I was looking at,
raisins.
they were talking about
I didn't know.
kind of on the finish some dark chocolate. I don't know if I get that.
I don't get the dark chocolate. I
I
did.
don't
I
either.
did kind of get the raisin taste.
Yeah, the raisins there. Of course, orange, citrus, some bergamot flavors. If you don't know what that is, I don't
Citrus, I
need.
get.
Bergamot is. I know it's a scent that's used pretty heavily on like men's colognes.
I
and
use
stuff.
it on my beard. I use beard butter, and it has bergamot.
That thing's amazing.
I love beard butter.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm gonna try some.
You gotta try it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the one that I use is doesn't smell anything like that.
Oh, so that's a man's one.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
got the metrosexual one. You gotta smell good.
Mine smells like burnt diesel and tire fire and bacon.
Crying babies.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would smell like, but
Wow, it doesn't smell
crying
good.
babies.
Doesn't smell good. So the unique thing about this is, so it's made by Suntory, and it's a very familiar name if you've had any of the other Japanese whiskeys.
Yep.
It is a blend of a lot. From what I was reading, it started off with a lot more blends, but they've kind of like changed it so it's fewer blends, but they have some of the Yamazaki in here, some Hakushu, a few other ones. The Hakushu, I think, is what lends a little bit of the smokiness to this. and they're aged in. So the way that these are aged, that this one's aged is quite a bit different. So it's aged in American barrels, or American oak, Japanese oak, and sherry barrels.
Sounds exotic.
Wow.
Yeah. So I do get a little bit of the sherry flavor, kind of like towards the middle, kind of reminiscent of the Balvenie, because that was aged also in sherry barrels. So that's kind of where that
Well, I can
seems
see,
familiar.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that flavor in there, but it's not overpowering. It's
No, because the
it's
other
pretty
one's
good.
kind of
So what's sherry usually taste like?
it's what's a wine?
Yeah.
It's used for
but it's
cooking
kind of
a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, cooking?
Yeah.
yeah. They use it for cooking. It's almost like kind of a dry red wine, if I remember correctly.
Well, makes sense because it's kind of dry at the end.
Yeah, but it's like pretty much like the wine flavors. You're gonna
Yeah.
get that in the
Okay.
in the sherry barrels. Some other interesting notes about the some really nerdy notes about the bottle. So the bottle's a very nice bottle. It has 24 panels on it,
Right.
which symbolize the 24 sekis, or the Japanese small seasons, which range from, so they divide a year. It's based off of, I think, the lunar calendar, if I remember correctly. But their seasons are like, a small chill around January 6th when the water chill starts, big chill around January 20th. So it's broken down like a lot.
Big
from
chill's
these-
my favorite.
Yeah, the big chill. So there's like a lot of like these little things that they kind of like noted, and that's like part of the season. So it's I thought that part was pretty
That's
cool.
pretty. So they have 24 seasons.
Yeah.
20 or 24?
24.
24.
So that's 2 a month.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's interesting.
the
They're very
dates.
detailed.
I actually have I actually have the notes of all of them. I didn't want to read all of them, but
I kind of want to know
Yeah.
now.
I'll
Because
let
here
you-
in California, it's just
Summer.
summer.
yeah, summer.
Do the top 5.
and then it's nice, and then all right,
Summer
let's go
again.
through. So so we have the small chill, which is January 6th. Around January 20th is the big chill. Start of spring around around February 4th. First day of spring according to the lunar calendar. Then you have rainwater around February 18th when the snow melts away. When the snowflakes melt, I thought that was around November 5th when the snowflakes melt.
Yeah.
They're continually melting right now.
Yeah, they haven't stopped
They don't
melting.
stop.
They're still melting.
Yeah.
I just got that reference. my
Yeah.
bad. That's when the snowflakes melt.
Yeah. So, and then it goes on. Some of them are separated by, like, one of them is like 15 days after the spring equin, which is like, I don't know if it's described up here, but it goes on. So there's 24 seasons. So that's kind of where, like, they took the bottle and they kind of like, it's a small detail that you look at the bottle and you're like, wow, that's a nice bottle. But
Like we were talking about last time about the small details that count.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think Japanese are very into the
Yeah,
details.
oh,
They're
yeah.
very detailed.
Yeah,
And
everything's
everything.
detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I was telling these guys that, I end up finding some really nerdy facts at times. So the label itself isn't made of standard paper. It's made out of a paper that doesn't contain any wood fibers. It's edges in
That's
paper.
wow.
It's a specific paper making technique from a certain region in Japan. So it's like, who even thinks of this stuff, right? The Japanese would, of course. They're
true.
like, oh, I don't want to use regular paper. I want to use this paper from this region.
That's the most ballin' shit you can do.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty ballin'. So yeah, other than that, I don't know. Do you guys have any notes? I have some of the notes.
No.
I have some of the Suntory notes
Yeah.
from
Their
previously.
website? Oh,
No,
previously.
from we talked about previously where guy goes and studies Scottish whiskey, comes back, gets hired by somebody. The guy wants to make smoky whiskeys that resemble Scotch, but
He
it's
doesn't.
It's not selling well
No.
because so the story goes that it's not selling well because the Japanese palate is more refined and more into subtleties than like the big smoky flavors.
Yeah.
So there was a big argument and there was kind of a disagreement. And
Split off, right? Or-
well, check this out. So this is one of the funny things I learned about. So they they got to a point where they were so like this disagreement was so large that they couldn't work together.
Yeah.
But he still worked there for another 10 years.
Interesting. It's like being in a bad marriage almost.
I guess like he did, you know, I guess he had made a commitment to stay there, and he's just like, you
fuck
know,
it, I'm here.
Well, whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I don't go nowhere.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. But other than that, I mean, just this. I don't really have any other more detailed notes.
I did see that the this whiskey is a non-age specific, or what's it called?
It's a non-age statement.
Non-age statement, so it doesn't like a woman doesn't tell you its age.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the one thing is you look at the bottle and you don't notice like, oh, age 10 years or 6 years or 12 years.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So don't assume.
Yeah.
Ask for ID.
Yeah, it looks nice. Just
Looks
don't
very
ask.
nice.
But yeah, some people, I don't know. So to me, it's like I'm not snobby enough to like take that into account.
Yeah,
I guess for some of the, like you were saying, some of the information you were looking at, like they took issue with that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's kind of pricey for a non-age statement whiskey. It's like, dude, try it.
Yeah, and like you said, like if it's good, then it doesn't really matter.
Right,
It
yeah,
doesn't
I
make a
agree
difference.
too.
I mean, it once you pour it in here, you can't, like, it doesn't transfer in there. It says, oh, age 16 years. Like, I don't know if that's going to make a difference.
Right.
Once you pour it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if you know, a lot of the times people will attribute falsely, like, oh, this is really good because it's been aged this, you know, for this long or whatever. I don't know. I kind of like that it doesn't have an age statement. Like, it's kind of...
Yeah, because you gave your own view of how you feel and how you taste it and stuff
Damn,
like that.
that must be really good.
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed it the first time I tried it.
No, it is good. And you know what's weird is I'm getting kind of... after I drink it and I wait a little bit, I kind of get like you ever have like kind of a eucalyptus, kind of like a really cool feeling on your tongue?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cooling feeling on my tongue, and it's like it's weird. It's like, oh, I haven't added ice to it, so I don't know why it's doing that.
It's I think one of the ingredients is those breath mint strips.
Yeah, or maybe some of that weird Korean gum that I get. That's
Oh,
really
dude, I
strong.
tried that the other day on our way to the Galaxy game. Carlos had some.
Dude, that stuff is so strong.
And he's
What was
like, the Korean gum. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
super extra strength.
Yeah.
And then Carlos was like, drink some water while you're at it. And I had some really cold water. And I was like, no,
No, yeah, that would not be good.
I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But it was like clearing out my sinuses. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
what?
actually, I have some in my car. I'll let you try it if you want. It's super strong.
It's pretty
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I think we were talking about age statement. To me, I don't know that makes a difference.
Yeah.
To some
Yeah.
people, they're snobby enough that it does. I'm not there yet. So I
Yeah.
mean, as long as it's good. I mean, we found a lot of whiskeys where they're kind of on the lower end of the price range where we've really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So I don't know that like, oh, it looks expensive, so it must be really good. Like, no, it's good on its own.
With the
It
ice.
gives it a different.
You get a different taste.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
I
It's like-
gotta finish this and then I'll put ice in it. This is like, I don't want to put
It's
ice in
like
it. It's just-
it gets rid of that smoky,
It does,
right?
yeah.
And then it's just like
get it at
it's
the
just,
end.
like, it's just that
Very
little
little
bite.
bit. It's
Yeah,
subtle.
yeah.
Yeah, with it warm, you could really taste that smoky
Yeah,
flavor.
exactly.
Yeah, with it chilled, it's a
Yeah.
little more subtle.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, Will?
It's good. Actually, it's very tasty.
Yeah. Here, let me pull your mic up a little bit. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I can taste that, the little floral notes and the sherry in there, and then that little smoky right after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, this is definitely a treat. I could see where, you know, in terms of like if you tried Toki and you tried this, you're like, wow, Japanese whiskey, man, they're really. I could see where people are becoming fans.
Yeah.
I could actually taste the chocolate.
Oh, now you can taste
Now,
it?
now I
it's
could
chilled.
taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's chill. I could taste the chocolate.
Yeah, I'll try to put
Hold
a little
on.
bit of water in
Let
it
me
and see if
see.
that works.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit, right?
As it gets colder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it brings out the chocolate.
Yeah, the flavors in this are they're quite strong.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. They're kind of hard to pick apart. At least for me, at first, like you kind of really have to concentrate. I think once you put ice in it, like you'll be able to kind of experience it more slowly, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
It like
Yeah.
settles the flavors a little bit more.
It's science. It's
It's
science.
science.
It's
It's
chemistry. Chemical engineer.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I just put a little bit, like a little tiny bit of water in it, and I mean, I can tell that some of the flavors are definitely like,
Coming out more.
yeah, a little bit. So I think it'll be good with ice.
Coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's it for me in terms of notes.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say
else.
about this. I'm just enjoying drinking it. It's
good.
good. Good stuff.
First time having Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, it's just gotten popular here in the past couple of years. What ended up happening is, I think in I want to say 2014, the Yamazaki 12, the sherry barrel finish, because there's two versions. There's the Yamazaki 12 and then the sherry barrel Yamazaki 12. The Yamazaki 12 and the sherry barrel ended up winning whiskey of the year for like some guy that gives awards out.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh man, I gotta buy it," because before it's like, you know, what are the like even like before I started looking into whiskey wine,
and stuff
I was like, well, what are it's Japanese? Like, what are they doing making whiskey? Like, you know,
Stick to sake.
yeah, yeah. So you know, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm a fan. I want to try some of the other ones.
Good.
No,
What do you usually drink, Will? Everything.
I do like
Also.
red wines.
Red wines?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Like
nice,
red wines.
nice.
Red wines are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you enjoy like Merlots and
Yeah.
Cabernet. I
Right
like
now, one of my favorites is through Apothic. They make one called Inferno,
Oh, okay.
and they're red wine aged in whiskey barrels.
Nice.
Whoa.
So
Nice.
as you drink it, you get the red wine notes, and right at the end, you get that whiskey bite.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
that's what I was drinking, that Gunslinger. It's from
Saddle Ranch? Or
Saddle Ranch. Yeah.
Is it Saddle Ranch
It is Saddle
Wineries?
Ranch.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Shadow
Shadow
Ranch. I think Shadow
I was gonna
Ranch.
say Saddle Ranch.
Yeah,
That
that's a
sounds like-
restaurant, isn't
I
it?
know, no, it's Shadow Ranch. Well, they make it, and it's aged on the whiskey barrels,
Yeah.
and it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's actually really
I
good.
like it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
Apothic, don't they make a red? It's called Apothic Red or something?
Yeah, they make a red one called Crush. They make one called Dark. I actually really enjoy their wines. They're pretty good.
Nice.
They're kind of like the mid range. They're not super expensive, but they're really tasty.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
kind of pair well with with steaks.
The wine I want to try is Caduceus, Maynard's.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
I hear it's really good. I've heard some pretty good stuff about that.
yeah.
That one.
Kind of weird to have a winery in Arizona. So
Dude, there's Arizona's very diverse, man. Has a lot of different landscapes. You'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
yeah, you don't think about it. You're
I know,
like,
because
oh,
the
it's,
dirt's so fine.
it's all desert.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
think.
Well,
That's
except for
what-
Arizona Bay, right?
Well,
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's why he moved there. Because he knows something we don't.
I
Yeah.
wonder if he learned how to swim.
Yeah. If he didn't, he better.
He better learn. Better learn to swim.
Yeah.
Better take heed, people.
Right.
Yeah.
Learn to swim.
With all those snowflakes melting.
Oh man. Well, the drought ended. That's for sure.
It sure did, but now the fires are starting.
Yeah.
I was like, man, yeah. There's gonna be
Yeah, it's been
fires.
pretty crazy, man, with the fires and whatnot.
I know, they have a lot of them.
You know, it's one of those things. You're like, you think you're like, wow, that's terrible, and then you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about it, like, man, it's just a part of nature. Like if
That's
we
what
weren't here,
happens.
The fires.
that would still happen.
It's so yeah, it would maintain itself. Self-maintaining nature is.
Yeah, I mean, it grows, it dries out. It's got to go somewhere, you know?
Right.
And then when the rains come, I think the mudslides are gonna come next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in some areas like where it really burned out. Like that's gonna be crazy.
Like off the 91, they had a mudslide there before
Yeah.
1 year.
That thing's
that-
all. I passed by there last week. I think it was.
all charred.
Yeah, it was. I was like,
Yeah, before the last big one, I would pass by there and I could see a little smoke still coming up from
Yep.
the hillside. I was
Yeah,
like, that's kind
yeah.
of weird. You
Yeah,
know?
fire burn. Well, if a mountain burns or whatever, it burns. It can burn for days.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
they gotta
pretty
keep an eye
crazy.
on that shit.
Yeah,
It's insane, man.
pretty
So,
crazy.
Will, welcome,
Yes.
man.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for having
joining
me.
us.
Yeah.
And so,
Thanks for coming.
how'd you and Larry meet?
on the internet.
We met
Oh,
on the
shit.
interwebs.
FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah, I didn't want to be lonely, so I went to farmersonly.com.
Mustache rides.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, just
it's
from common interest pages,
Yeah.
mostly like California gun groups, and it's pretty funny because you get, even in those, you get like a lot of people that are super whiny and like.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like it's there's a lot of drama. It's crazy, more than you would think it would be, and then it kind of gets old. And sometimes some people break away from those groups, and from the main groups, and there's offshoots, and you get to meet some interesting people just from reading their comments and paying attention to what they talk about and what's important to them and that sort of thing. And I think that's how we met. We're just one of those groups, and we've hung out a few times, going to
shoots.
shoots, going to the San Diego rally, going to gun rights rally in San Diego. There was one in Anaheim. I don't know if you were there. I think I went there by myself. I went there by myself that day. Yeah. But yeah, just common interest stuff.
Cool.
Nice.
So, yeah, we've hung out a couple times.
That's the nice thing about social media. You can just meet some cool people, and you can meet some shitty people too.
And that's
you have to be
mostly shitty, but
yeah.
it's nice to meet some cool people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the hard part about it, right? I mean, especially like, you know, even with all the social media and everything, you said, yeah, people, they're like, you know, oh, you know, you're over like, you know, a certain age, or like it's hard to meet friends or whatever. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of not. Like,
it's not.
People are out there. You just got to kind of, you know, do your thing.
You have to talk
and meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. That's the thing I struggle with, like, at least more publicly. And I'm trying to get better at it by doing this. Just like talking to different people and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Cause you know, mostly it's like, you know, it's easier to not talk to people at times.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of like, whatever. Just do my own thing.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. Up.
No.
But
What's so good about it? No,
Avoid eye contact.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we met. It's just, you know, from hanging out on the internet.
It's been a few years now, like 3, 4.
Yeah, just about.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cute.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold hands later if you guys want to join us. Yeah.
We're playing footsies under the table right now.
I'm actually not wearing pants.
I think we lost like 10 followers.
Oh, damn it.
It's all right, though.
Or maybe gain some.
Maybe.
That's right.
You never know. Some people are into that.
We don't discriminate, people.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
So Rebecca said California is all desert too, which is true. It's a fact.
Well, it's somewhat true. There's a lot of Northern California that's, you know, also, I mean, it's not like super green like some areas, but
no, but
you know, as you approach, you know,
it's more agricultural.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
So Will, I know we had said in the description that you're a former police officer, but we got that wrong.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah, I figured I should correct that because I'm sure there's people out there that could do some research and
Like, this
Stolen
valor. This motherfucker, he was never a cop.
Stolen valor.
He was a rent-a-cop.
Yeah.
So you went to the academy, or?
Well, the first academy I went to was Honolulu PD. So, yeah, it was almost a Hawaii 5.
Nice.
Almost.
With Steve Gutenberg, like I said earlier, and Bobcat Goldthwait.
No, it's funny is I'm reading now, and my old, at the time, I think he was a lieutenant, became chief. Now he's embroiled in this huge federal scandal.
Oh,
wow. No way.
You missed that on the good stuff.
I know.
And,
You could have been tied into that.
Yeah,
That would have been
his
awesome.
picture on the internet, you know, he was just arrested, I think, last Sunday.
Wow, that's crazy.
Federal charges and stuff like that.
Wow.
And a couple other people that I knew when I was in the academy also got busted for that too.
Wow.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad.
You dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in Hawaii over there?
Yeah, I lived in Hawaii for about 5 years.
So where are you from originally?
I was born in Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Born in Northern California. Parents moved down here when I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
And got married at 19. First wife was from Hawaii, and she was
got
homesick, wanted to go home. I'm like, shoot, when do we go?
Yeah.
Who's going to turn down?
Yeah, seriously.
So
That's true.
went out there, went through the whole hiring process, got into the police academy, and at that time it was a 9-month academy. You know, so it was.
There's a lot of work out there, a lot of police work.
Yeah, but it doesn't pay well. At the time, I think starting salary for an officer was $32,000.
Damn.
At the time. You know, it was about 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you got people with, you know, mental challenges that have like $1 million record deals.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing is that everything is inherently more expensive there. I mean, to live there because you know obviously it's on an island.
Because they have to
get import.
transport everything. Yeah.
Milk is expensive as
Yeah,
shit.
when I left there, it was $9.99 a gallon.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, but your bones are.
That's it. We're getting
You would have thought there was only one cow on the entire island.
And there was one guy that was milking it. And it was his week off.
I mean, I lived over by the dairies. You know, I could smell them every morning. And,
Yeah.
you know, milk was still, you know, $10 a gallon. You know, cereal's like $6-7 a box. So
Yeah, just get a really long straw.
Go to a neighbor with the bucket. Yeah, can I get some milk?
Yeah.
That's crazy. $10 a gallon. That's just ridiculous. That's robbery.
Yeah, it was pretty pricey there. I mean,
I
everything
think it
is at
still
least.
is, huh?
I think everything's at least $2-3 more expensive over there than it is here.
Yeah, it would have to
Wow.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then the outer islands like Maui, it's even more expensive. You know, so it's
Yeah.
up to $5. You know, more. At least last time I was there. So.
So are there really people living on the beach like you see like in the
Oh
movies
yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah.
I used to ride my bike and you know, go on bike rides and stuff. And they have the sovereign nation and
Sovereign nation.
yeah, the sovereignty movement. You know, they want to take the land back from the federal government. They
That's
want,
awesome.
You know,
Well, you know how
the actual
Hawaii
state
was.
of Hawaii
Yeah.
back to the people and.
Yeah.
You know, they go do their hunting, and then they, you know, as I was riding past one time, there's all these hog carcasses draped, you know, across like the rails
crazy.
and stuff, and rotting away, and
Oh,
no.
it's
Wow.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys know how Hawaii became part of the United States?
So it got stolen.
It got stolen. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, it did get stolen. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you
so
go.
pretty much, so there was, you know, Hawaii was its own sovereign country, and I guess these.
The white
I don't
man.
know if they were, the white men, but they were like, I don't know if they were like Christian missionaries or something.
Yeah.
But pretty much they staged a coup. Is it a coup? Is it a coup? Coup? Anyways, and pretty much stole the island.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so yeah,
crazy.
you were right.
Yeah, the white man.
When I found out, I was like, holy moly, that's how it happened. That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, it's the white man. It's always the white man.
Used his privilege to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. They stole it by means of white privilege.
Manifest destiny.
So you lived in Hawaii for, you said what,
About 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And why did you decide to come back? Or
Yeah,
why
my
did
first
you come
wife
back?
passed, and
Oh,
it was just way too expensive to live there by myself.
Yeah.
I was living with my in-laws at the time, and you know, over there, it's common for multi-generations to live together.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
And
now here in California.
It's getting that way, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know, and
expensive.
so they were hinting at retirement, and you know, I didn't want to hold them back from, you know, doing their thing. They wanted to move to Vegas, and
Yeah.
so I was like, all right, you know, because that's where, you know, Hawaiians go. They go from Hawaii to Vegas.
yeah.
Wow.
Is that what they do? Really?
That's what they do.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
Hawaii
cool.
to Vegas or Arizona.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They're like, oh, it's too.
They want to get away from the ocean.
It's too beautiful here.
Yeah.
Let's
No
go
more-
to a desert.
No more ocean.
Yeah. So
There's too much green.
So they were talking about moving, you know, wanting to, you know, pack up and move, and they were just kind of like hinting that they were waiting for me. So I decided, you know what, you know, I'm going to come back and get a fresh start, you know. So I
Yeah.
came back and, you know, kind of went to school for massage therapy, and
Okay.
kind of the rest is history as far as that goes. But
Yeah.
So yeah, I was mentioning earlier too that I went to school for that as well. And it was one of the best times of my life, getting massages almost every day.
right,
Yeah.
now I don't know what those are.
Right,
I just
yeah.
give them all day long.
Yeah.
You give, you don't receive.
Hardly at all.
Well, it is
Hardly at
better to give than to receive, isn't it?
I don't know. That's
That's what I've heard.
we can debate that.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
It just depends.
We totally debate that.
Yeah.
So Larry was telling me you participate in Spartan races.
Well,
Yeah.
I think before we're skipping way ahead here.
Oh, we
when
are.
doing
Sorry.
that.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, we're skipping way ahead. You weren't always into fitness and
Oh, yeah,
at least
yeah,
from what I know, you there was a period of time where you were you
Big
know,
fat ass.
pretty much. Now you're a third of the man you used to be.
My heaviest, I was 405.
405. Wow, that's
Really?
incredible. So
405, yeah.
Wow.
when did you start your
Yeah.
weight loss journey?
I was 28, so it was about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, and I was starting to have some health issues, and you know, I was becoming diabetic. Was high, you know, blood pressure was going up. You
Yeah.
know. You don't realize that stuff, you know, until it
Right.
really starts hitting you.
Because it's all gradual.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, it's like you don't realize that you look down and I can't see anything, and you just
Yeah.
see my toes, and then you get to the point where you can't even see your toes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is
Yeah.
anything down there? Am I floating?
I'm just hovering through that.
Yeah. like Slimer from the Ghostbusters.
Oh man. So did you go through like a program, or did you just start on your own?
Just on my own. Went to the doctor. Was starting to have some pains in my side that would kind of wrap around my back. You know, they wrap around my back from to my side here, and you know, it'd leave me breathless. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't do anything, and. So, you know, she pretty much put my mortality and, you know, right in my face. And I had
Yeah.
doctors that was like, hey, Will, you know, you need to think about losing weight. And it's like, all right, thought about it. It's too hard.
I'm okay.
Thought about it. Doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, you know, so what she did was, you know, at the time I'm sitting there, you know, and she comes in and she's like, I got good news and bad news. And I'm like, all right. Well, she goes, she didn't even give me a choice to, you know, what's the good news or what's the bad news. She's like, well, she goes, the good news is your blood pressure is okay. She goes, the bad news is your cholesterol's off the charts.
Wow.
I'm like, what do you mean off the charts? So she turns my chart around. She goes, see this chart? She goes, there's no dot on it.
It's like, wow, it's that. No, it's like, wow, it's that low.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's that high.
Yeah, she's like, it's literally not on the chart. See?
Oh,
So
shit.
it was something like close to 500.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What's a normal? Well, I don't know if
in
you
the
still know
in
this.
the 200s.
200s.
Yeah.
And you were sorry, my bad. It's my fault. hit the wire there. Did I unplug you? My bad.
There we go.
Messing up.
Yeah, no, it's about 200 is about normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, she was like, you're a ticking time bomb, and, you know, do you want to become a vegetable and your family have to take care of you? And I'm like, no. And she took my chart and she chucked it across the room, and she's all, then get off your ass and do something about it. And she walked
Damn.
out.
Wow. But she made
Bitch,
the
you're gonna
mark.
die.
Pretty much.
Do something.
Pretty much. So, you know,
Damn.
from that day forward, you know, I was like, all right, I'm going to make a conscious effort, and walked a quarter mile the first night and was like, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I tried to start eating salads, and then I had to learn how to cook and eat right and learn what a good carb was and a bad carb was, you know, good
A lot
fats,
of
bad
research
fats.
and all that,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
Nice. See, sometimes not being PC can save lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely
Yeah.
thank her for that, you know.
I mean, that's the thing is you got to think like, dude, like, I mean, imagine how much it takes for a doctor to get to that point, right? Like, you think of a doctor, they're like kind of cool and like, you know, like they're not, I don't know, like very rarely have I ever seen, you know, one get that passionate about, you know, actually give a damn
kinda
about
rare.
like, hey, what you're,
Kinda
you know,
rare.
hey, dude, you guess what, you're gonna die. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them, it's like, I have a lot of patience, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, here's what's wrong with you, figure it out. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Very much.
And I still see her to this day. You know, I just had a physical last year, or, you know, a couple months ago, and, you know, everything checked out great. But, you know, she's, you know, proud. You know, it's been, about 200 pounds now that I dropped.
That's amazing.
You
Wow.
know, so,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Congrats,
Size 60
man.
was my biggest pant size.
Size 60?
60s, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I blew the buttons on them still.
Yeah, it's funny because I think you posted a picture a while back of like your shorts.
Yeah.
and you're like on one side of them, and then the other
I'm
side's
in
like
one pant leg.
Yeah, he's on one pant leg. He fits in there, and then the other one's
Dang.
empty.
Yeah.
Holy
So it's like,
shit.
dude, like
That's
that's a
incredible,
perspective, man.
Yeah, I still
Respect.
keep them. I keep them for just kind of like
I think you have to, right?
Yeah, you
like
do.
you're like, damn, I don't want to, you know.
yeah.
Dude, that's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, it
That's-
is. There's not that many people could say of
It's
you know.
I still struggle
that
with it.
determination
go up
too
and
is
down. You
best.
know,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the leanest I got was 183 was last year. You know, I'm right about 200 now. So, yeah.
Well, you look good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really,
Absolutely.
No, well, maybe a little bit homo.
Okay. Well, you aren't wearing pants, you said.
Well, yeah.
We are playing footsie still.
Well, I was wearing my socks before. I don't know. I took one of them off.
It's getting hot and heavy in here.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the whiskey's very good.
Yeah.
This top button here.
Oh, damn.
Start playing
Yeah.
music.
I think it's
now.
the raciest podcast we've
I
had
know.
Wow.
thus far.
Yeah,
The only thing is, if the light comes off, then we're really in trouble.
that's true.
Turn on the blue light.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Blue light
Yeah, it's
special.
gonna be a blue light special.
Blue light special.
Yeah. So in all of that, and I think I remember right around the time. I remember when you did your first Spartan race. Right.
2015.
Yeah, it was right around that time when we met. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right about that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
people that don't know what's a Spartan race.
They're obstacle course races. They range anywhere from like a 5K. The biggest one I did was the Ultra, which is a 32-mile race.
Wow.
Wow.
And I did that last year in Tahoe. So we dealt
Nice,
with
man.
elevation.
Did you go recently to Tahoe?
It was
Or
last
recent?
year. I was going to go to the one this past year, but I've had some personal issues, and it just distracted me from being able to train. And so I'd signed up for it, had all the intentions to go, and
It's like if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna freaking hurt myself or fail, and it's
literally die on the mountain.
yeah. I mean,
It's not appealing.
yeah, no. I mean, once you get that far out.
I mean,
you
the
know.
last year's race, it really beat me up. I had a sprained ankle at like mile 22, and
Shit.
messed up my shoulder at like mile 24. You know, just
So
kind of kept going.
What do you do when you? So you say you train. So what kind of stuff do you do to train to?
Well, I live over by the UCR, so I run the Box Springs Mountain
Okay.
up there. So I go, all the way from, it's called Two Trees Trails, go all the way to like the Big M.
Mm-hmm.
in Moreno Valley. Sometimes I go down the other side and then back up, and it's about 18, anywhere from 18 to 20 mile loops.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many Spartan races have you done total?
I'm pushing. Well, if you count all the races I've done, I think I'm almost at 20 right now.
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a 2-year span?
Yeah.
I want to know,
incredible.
how was your first one?
I overtrained for that one, so that was great.
I guess better to be
I was like, well,
overprepared.
it's over already.
That was it?
Yeah,
I'm ready for more.
Pretty much.
Oh,
Can I do it?
keep hitting your wire. I'm sorry, man. Hold on.
You scooted over or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot it over because I keep hitting his
His
earphone
headphone cable.
Headphones, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
So wow, overtrained for that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 races. That's blows my. I haven't even.
I know.
I haven't. Well, in cross country, but
Yeah,
that
we used to do that, but
it doesn't count.
It doesn't
I guess as a Spartan race.
Yeah.
But have you completed like trifectas or?
Yeah. I'm working on my third one, so I have a race actually next Saturday in Big Bear. So I'm not totally prepared for that one, but
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is how's the training going for that one?
it's slow, but I think I'll be there. I've been back to trail running and
Because I know you
get up
moved
there.
recently. And
Yeah.
So I probably messed up the schedule a little bit.
big time.
Yeah.
So trying to, I've been doing the trail runs and they're not too bad, but there's no obstacles in it. So,
It's just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the. I think I've seen some of the obstacles, and I mean, I won't say they're certainly easy, but
they range from like monkey bars that are kind of like staggered as
Yeah.
you go through to 130-pound Atlas stones to. Like in Tahoe, they had like log carries. So you had to carry this huge log that was it was close to 100 pounds, and
Yeah.
you go downhill, uphill. I mean,
Carrying
climb
the
walls.
log?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can train, not necessarily train the course, but train kind of the same type of things you'll be
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
around that.
So
Yeah.
is it only Spartan races that you're doing?
No,
or-
I do these ones called terrain races, Warrior Dash. I mean, any kind of like
Yeah.
get down,
Okay.
get in the mud kind of deal. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Mud runs.
I'm
and stuff like
I'm
that.
kind of addicted to the medals. I won't lie.
When you go to these events, like, do you recognize people from like?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a huge following with these races. You see like. You'll see some of the elites that were on TV, a couple weeks ago in Tahoe, and
Yeah.
they're racing
Yeah.
for money. And then you see the kind of the local stars. One of my good friends. He's known for his kilt.
Yeah, I think I've seen the picture.
He's got a huge following, and he looks.
Well, that dude's
we look
huge.
like each other.
He looks like a mini me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like just like an action figure size. It's funny.
Yeah, he's like 6'2". I'm like 5'6".
Yeah. Just add water.
Just had one. Watch it grow.
Yeah, before and after. But yeah, no, I recognize a lot of people, and then there's a huge Facebook following for like
Yeah.
the West Coast version of it. So every time I go to the races, I always recognize somebody I know, and or see them on the course, and we'll run for a little while together. But sometimes it's an individual thing. I slap my
Right.
headphones on, get in my zone, and pray to God I don't cramp.
That's a bitch when you cramp, man. I know. Trying to run through that and fight through that. Oh.
That happened last year. I wasn't paying attention and got a little dehydrated and cramped up, and it was about a mile's worth of cramping. And yeah, the next day I couldn't walk and went to work and trying to work with legs that
You're
don't
like, I
wanna
could
work.
really use a massage right now.
Oh, they were too painful to even like look at. Like, just don't look at my legs; they hurt.
That's what happens when you skip leg day.
Right. But I made the mistake of giving away some of my supplies that I usually take with me because I was feeling good through the race. But it was at Paula, and so it was September last year, so it was like 105 outside.
It's higher altitude, isn't it?
Paula, not really. It's
not too
too
high.
bad.
Yeah.
It's not anything to really affect you, but it was just the heat, and I didn't realize I wasn't sweating until somebody mentioned it.
Yeah,
And
that's
we were already about 6 miles into it.
And you're like, oh shit.
that's not a good sign.
We
Yeah.
did this bucket carry where you fill a 5-gallon bucket with pea gravel, so it weighs 80 to 90 pounds, and I was carrying it, and there's a picture of me, and one of the things I always do is I do my gun show pose, whenever I see a cameraman, and like moments after I took that picture, this cramp started setting in. I was done for about a mile. I was scared I was going to have to give up.
Oh, man.
How much longer was it from that point?
Yeah.
Another, it was a 15-mile race, so I was at mile 6.
Shit.
With lots more hills. And,
Oh,
but fortunately, I had one last little pickle juice left. That stuff works miracles when you're cramping up.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard pickle juice, and I've heard mustard too.
It's the vinegar.
Mustard.
It's the vinegar in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the
Makes
vinegar
sense.
helps out for some reason. The vinegar and the sodium. So I'm not sure how and why, but it works.
it's a good combination of both.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
I popped
Science.
that last one and took a minute, kind of rubbed my legs out, found a stick, and was kind of like
Trying to
really just
Electrolytes.
work the muscles. And
Yeah, it's not a foam roller, but it'll have to do.
it'll work. It'll do.
Yeah.
So
What's the toughest obstacle that you've completed or you had to go through?
completed? Well,
Or not even completed.
The toughest one for me is the rope climb. I cannot get the rope climb to save my life.
That's not
There's
even a strength
technique.
thing. It's
Technique.
coordination and technique.
The problem is I don't have a place to practice the rope climb. So
Yeah, that's-
trying to get the technique down, I can only practice when I'm in the race. So
That's not a good time to practice.
And
And,
they
then
usually-
you may not see it again for another
couple
race.
months.
Yeah.
So then they usually put it like right at the very end. It's like the rope climb, finish line.
I think
know.
there's a spot.
think, guys. No.
At,
So usually your grip's blown out,
Yeah.
your upper body's blown out because
Yeah.
you've done. They have this one called the twister, where it's this long bar and there's these handles welded around, and every time you grab one, it twists. So you go and it twists. So
Oh,
it really
I think I
works
saw
the
that
grip.
on that Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, it's something similar.
Similar to that.
Yeah.
I think at Venice Beach they have ropes
They do.
you can climb,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
They do in Venice Beach, yeah.
Yeah. That's just quite the drive to fucking go out to LA.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you're
especially
gonna
with traffic,
if you're gonna
yeah.
go, you may as well practice like all day. Just climbing the rope.
right.
and
Just
be
go in the
like,
morning,
okay.
just stay there all day.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
I've tried the S hook. I've got about halfway up, and then I just can't. I get up there, and I'm trying to hold and get the. That S hook down, and then I just end up sliding back down. And
Yeah.
I'll go do my burpees and get my medal.
Yeah.
So is there something you? Because I don't know, when there's times you feel like quitting, you focus on. Is there something you focus on when you feel like quitting?
Not being a little bitch.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen people. I've volunteered before, and I've seen, I've been at the kind of towards the end of the finish, the race, and I've seen people give up right then and there. And you're like, you got like a quarter mile to go. Like,
Just do it.
just do it.
You
signed up for it. You've made it this far. Just finish it.
Yeah, I could understand with the first like mile in a 15-mile race, like maybe something happens, so you get injured.
Yeah.
But you're
And you
almost
can't
there.
help it. But dude, the last quarter mile, it's like, dude,
Sometimes you don't even know if you're that close to the finish line. You get that tired. I mean, I've seen some people that are like delirious.
yeah, I could imagine you kind of zone out, and you don't know how far along you've come in the race. And
The toughest one was the ultra in Tahoe, because we went from I think it was about 3,500 foot elevation at the start, and we were nearing 11,000 feet in less than 6 miles.
Wow.
So it's
climb.
vertical. It's up the K22 slope, ski slope.
Oh, damn.
And that race was a weird one because we had a freak storm blow through, and at the start of the race, I think it was 18 degrees when we started the race, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it had dropped to 15 and started snowing.
Oh man.
Shit.
And I sprained my ankle on like mile 22 in the snow. I didn't see a rock sticking up and twisted my ankle. And
Ouch.
good thing for compression socks and the cold weather, it really kept the swelling down. And it just felt like a bee sting. Kept going and got after the race was done and everything, and I start cooling down. I'm just like stiffen up. I couldn't hardly move. It was pretty brutal, but
Sounds intense.
That's awesome.
they ended up actually closing the course down early because the conditions got so bad that they were afraid that the people were going to start getting seriously
Hypothermia and stuff like that.
not just that, but like
slip and fall, or
deaths even, because they couldn't get up to the top of the summit anymore because the winds were howling at about 60-70 miles an hour. And,
yeah, that's pretty crazy. If they had you can't
even airlift up there. They shut the trams down and everything.
Yeah, you can't do
that.
It was pretty bad. But
when the winds get that bad, you have an emergency. Bad things can happen when you can't get to people.
Yeah, so I ended up completing enough to earn the medal, which is it's a pretty good sized belt buckle. So it's actually pretty cool.
Is that what you use it for?
Oh, so it's an actual belt buckle?
Actual belt buckle.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shit. That's dope.
There you
I've worn
go.
it a couple times.
That's awesome.
Hey, eyes are up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
So now I'm contemplating doing it again next year because I skipped out on this year's race.
Around what time is that?
They're doing it in October, but they have one in August in Hawaii. It's the same distance, and I'll be turning 40 that month. So kind of like,
nice.
but I'm going to Hawaii this April, so I don't know if I can do 2 trips to Hawaii in 1 year. It might be a little bit of a stretch.
Do you still have family in Hawaii?
Yeah.
I have some friends out there.
Friends, okay.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Wow,
I mean, I got lodging if I needed to, but it's the airfare.
the flight.
That's
That's
expensive.
the
airfare, yeah.
Get
So,
pricey.
That's where it gets
Especially
you.
with the entry and all that other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, race fee's about almost $200. So
Yeah.
for that race. So.
Yeah, Tahoe.
How much are they normally over here for Tahoe and stuff like that?
Tahoe, if you get in early, it's 150, 160, and then as it gets closer to the event, the price starts going up a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
for the
So-
procrastinators?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
You know. So.
Yeah, somebody or the impulse people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And the people that are like super beasts and they're like, I'll take it slow. I'll do it. I'll
Yeah.
go do the ultra today.
Yeah.
What's crazy about that ultra is it's 2 laps of the course. So the one course, there's people running it just 1 lap, and that's called the Beast.
Yeah.
And this last one in Tahoe was 16.2 miles. And so
Wow.
you run it once, and then you go into a transition area. You repack your pack and whatever you need to do, and then you set out for the second lap of the same course. So the second lap is all mental.
Yeah.
Because you know what you just did, and you're going to do it again.
Right. Yeah.
It almost seems like that.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I was gonna say like that is kind of a mind fuck, right? Because you
It
would
is.
think like, oh well, it's gonna be easier. Like I already know, but it's like, but no, you've already gone through it.
Well,
So
I had my headphones
mental
on, and I was going up the first set of hills, which were literally almost like 45 degrees, even steeper than that.
Yeah.
And I had my headphones on, and it was like, you almost feel like Walking Dead, like you're a zombie. You just keep moving forward.
because you're not thinking about anything,
No.
you're just thinking of moving. That's all you're
in
doing.
so-
Yeah, that's right.
You're in so much pain. Your legs are hurting. Your hips are inflamed, and you can feel the joints just like stop already.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then and I remember looking over to my right, and there's this guy on the trail, and I could see him screaming, but I couldn't hear him because of my headphones.
Yeah.
And he, I looked down, and his legs are just in full like lockup.
Oh.
Just like that, just cringe, and I just keep going. He's
Yeah, because you're like, oh, if I stop, that's what my legs are gonna
Exactly. Stop,
Right.
that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you just keep moving, and ran across a couple guys, and we started talking and running, and kind of takes your mind off the pain and stuff. And trying to make all the time hacks
That's cool.
before you get kicked off the course. So.
Yeah.
Man, running is addictive. I remember cross country.
Yeah, when we used to run a lot.
Yeah.
can.
It's like a zone, especially like
Yeah, you get in your zone.
especially when you're running and like there's nobody around you. You just hear the footsteps of you just hitting the
Yeah.
pavement,
And you're breathing.
and you're breathing,
You
and
focus on your
you-
breathing.
Yeah, and you're just in the zone.
I hate about the first mile and a half, though. Literally, I just want to quit.
And like once you get past that point,
Yeah,
right,
once you get past that, and then I'm good for about 10 miles, and then it's like mile 12, 13. I'm like,
It's a
this
challenge.
sucks.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's addictive, man. It really is. I remember I hurt my I had a knee injury and I couldn't run anymore, and I got depressed.
Oh, yeah.
'cause I couldn't run.
I went through, after Tahoe, I went through a bit of a post-race depression. I mean, I worked for about 8 months to get ready for that race. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was day in, day out, trails, morning, noon, to night,
Yeah.
hitting the gym, a lot of sacrifices with the family and all that. And, after the race was done, there was a bit of a post-race depression. Like, I just had
So it's like, well, that's it. Like
Yeah, like...
I could see,
Yeah.
I could almost
It's
see
really
that.
weird.
Like, you get used to it. I mean, especially dudes, like, I know a lot of dudes, sometimes myself included, it's kind of like a routine based thing. Like, you
Right,
get into a
right.
routine and, like, you want to maintain that. But then after the race, you're like, well, damn, like, I don't have to prepare for this, for the next one. Like, I
Yeah.
can take some time off. But even still, like, it just messes with your schedule.
Exactly.
It does.
It does.
I mean, I had to take close to a month and a half off for my ankle. I mean, it was pretty beat up. It was pretty
Yeah.
swollen and bruised up and beat up, and so I just wanted to let myself heal. I didn't want to go out and hit the trails and end up spraining it again, and possibly ripping something or tearing a ligament. So
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah.
so
And that's the
what I
worst
did
too,
for-
is when you take some time off, like, and then like you start again, then you get like the soreness is so much worse.
Yeah,
Right.
So that's what I'm struggling
Yeah.
with right now.
Yeah.
Because I've had this last couple months, few months where I've just had a lot of stuff going on and just haven't been able to train. And I'm trying to hit the gym, and I'm looking for that spark somewhere.
It'll come, man. It'll
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
No, I used to look forward to the soreness because I used to be like, man, I'm actually doing something that, putting some effort.
Yeah.
So.
Well, see,
No, that's
there's
true.
some
You could see it
soreness.
the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some soreness is good. Like, I'm talking about like the type of soreness where you're like, fuck, like I really like. For that first, like, I know when I and it's funny because when I was overseas, I used to work out with some of the dudes that I worked with.
Yeah.
But it was easy because it's like, you know, here it's a lot easier to slack off because you're on your own.
Right.
But when you're with a group of like 4 or 5 dudes,
Yeah.
and they're gonna give you endless amount of shit if you bitch
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Bitch, one more.
yeah. No, just for not going. Like just like, I don't want to go. You know, like there isn't any of that. You just you keep pushing through it. So, but I remember that first week, dude. Like that first week, it was just the soreness was just terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But then it's like you do the same workouts enough, you do the same things, like that you recover much quicker.
Right.
You do. And then
Right.
at one point you'll plateau and you're like, okay, I got to go heavier or something.
Heavier, more
'cause-
reps.
Yeah.
More reps.
Yeah. See, for me, it wasn't about that. Like my biggest thing is the reason why I like to go with them is they knew what they were doing. Like there's a lot of people there at the gym, and you see, I'm sure you see this all the time, where people want to put up more weight than they have any business being around.
See it all the time.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're gonna absolutely hurt yourself. And that was my biggest thing. Is like, I didn't give a shit if I was doing 25 pounds, as long as I was doing it correctly. Like
Just the
that's what I
bar.
wanted. Well, I just wanted to learn, like, so
Yeah.
that I can go out and do it on my own. Lately, it's just like it's been hitting me lately. I'm like, fuck, dude, I really need to get back to you know, getting into some workouts, man, because it's been too long.
Right.
Yeah. Same
Right.
here. I got to get back into it, but form is first and foremost
yes.
Most
It should
important
be.
too, because you
Super
don't get
important.
hurt or
the most important thing to
It should be, but some like, dude, I used to see these guys, and the base I was at, they had Jordanians there, and there was this one dude that he would just do the most ridiculous shit, but he had a lot of weight on there, so it looked cool. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
Just do
dude,
like quarter squats.
I know.
yeah, like ridiculous shit.
squats.
Like you're supposed to be working your triceps, not your whole body. Like it's
Yeah.
not,
I'm sure he goes into
It's
his room.
just a
he's
more
like
ego
hurting.
thing. They want to just show off.
Well,
and
like
everything.
Rebecca says, the male ego is very fragile.
yeah.
It can be.
Can be.
It can be very fragile.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing is like, and that's what I thought was, that when I used to work out a lot, that was it basically. It's just is to avoid any of the endless amount of shit I was gonna get for not going.
Right.
Now it's kind of easy because you're like, well, it's just me, and if I skip out, whatever. But I think I'm thinking about starting to go back soon. My problem is I have a lot of time at the end of the day, like when Victoria and Jen go to bed, and then it's like, well, dude, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe I gotta get out and at least start walking or doing something.
Yeah,
and
some
that-
type of movement.
The hardest part is to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried switching my workouts to evenings after work because I get off at 9. So by the time I hit the gym, it's about 9:45. I find myself up. I'm at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
all
that-
wired from
that's
the
what
workout.
the-
That's the one thing I noticed about that too. It's like,
Right.
we used to do it before dinner, but like when I was in the military, it's like, it's one of those things you think like, dude, getting up so early and working out, like it's gonna wreck your day.
It
It
doesn't.
really doesn't
It
though.
doesn't.
It starts your day off. I mean,
It's
to
like
me,
a fresh cup
I
of
used to-
coffee if you like coffee. You know what I mean? You
dude,
do that in the morning
it's
and
amazing.
just-
You feel great for the rest of the day, man.
When I was going to the gym regularly, I used to love working out early in the morning because it's a head start on the day.
Yeah.
You wake up early, you get your shit done, and you got all these endorphins pumping in and adrenaline, and yeah, you don't even really need a coffee like you said, Eddie. And it's
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
The rest of your day have all this energy.
Right.
One of my favorite things is hit the trails before sunrise, and then run as the sun rises, and or try to
that's
reach
even
the summit
better right
and
there,
watch
yeah.
the sunrise as
Yeah.
from the summit. It's
That's-
pretty
yeah,
good
it's-
stuff right there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Especially up in the trails over here, you do get some wildlife too, so it's kind of fun.
Over here,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, some
Wild
burros.
crackheads and
Wildlife and hobos.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Some hobos out there.
Yeah.
So what gym do you go to?
I go to Anytime Fitness down here in Riverside. So
Okay.
right off of what is it? Over by the old spaghetti factory down there.
Oh,
okay,
right next
yeah,
door. Yeah, it's right next door. so-
University.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a gym
University.
there?
Yeah, there
there's
is
a
right,
tiny
right
little-
behind the spaghetti factory.
Kind of ironic, really.
I know. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Hey, you get your carbs in, you go work out.
and and burn the carbs.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been deadlifting over there before, and then they'll come over and complain because you slam the weights down.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just trying to show off. So no, I'm kidding.
So my first gym experience was at Planet Fitness, and after a while, I mean, it's whack going there. But anyways, it's a good introduction place to go to. But they were like giving pizza on Mondays.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's like Pizza Mondays, free Pizza Mondays. I
had a friend that he started off there. He was kind of pudgy, and then he got, he started losing weight, get more, cut, and started getting more confidence. So he started wearing tank tops, bringing his gallon of water. Told him he couldn't wear his tank top.
Yeah, dude, like that's the thing. Yeah,
really? I told him he couldn't bring his gallon of water.
You get like it's like a bell or something like that. Like I used to go with Darren Smith.
Yeah.
And this dude used to like he lifts heavy as fuck. And I used to hear him slamming the weights. We used to work out together and stuff. And one time they rang the bell like, oh yeah, you can't do that because you intimidate the other people. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. I thought this was like no judgment zone. What the fuck happened?
no judgment, but judgment.
Yeah. No judgment. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, but not sorry.
No judgment unless you're doing better than other people.
Yeah. This is socialism.
I would think it would be more like a motivation for other people to get like that, to be like that. I don't know.
You would
I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword.
I don't get that. I don't get that at all. To me, when I go, it's like I don't give a fuck about anybody else. I sometimes I'll look around and I'll laugh at what people are doing, but like in my head, I'm not like, I'm not looking for people that are there for inspiration. Like I'm there to just work out and work out what I'm working on. If somebody wants to point and laugh at me because I'm not lifting a whole lot of weight, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not hurting my back.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck you.
When I don't see you for 3 months because you blew your back out, then
Well, I remember walking into 24-hour fitness, 400 pounds, and the looks I'd get, man.
Oh,
it's
man.
like, get all the hard bodies there with their, chiseled six packs. And, all the hotties there, and you walk in and they look at you like, ew.
What are you doing here? It's like, bitch,
that
I'm trying to better myself.
That doesn't even make sense. It's like, dude, that's the dude you want there. It's like, dude, hell yeah.
I remember when I seen people there, overweight or obese or whatnot. And he'd be like, man, more power to you, dude. Like,
fuck, you're doing something about it.
Done,
No, I give them, all the props there on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've been in that, walking in and seeing all those mirrors and you're seeing yourself at angles you've never seen before.
You're like, what? And you're like, holy shit.
I look like that from behind.
That's the rear view.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough.
Oh yeah, no, it's no good.
Oh man,
it's.
So how'd you fight through that?
Just thinking of my health, man. Putting my health first. I didn't want to, because my doctor, she had told me, she goes, I wouldn't give you till 35 before you have a heart attack or stroke. Here I'm 28 years old, so I'm like, I don't want to die of a heart attack or stroke.
Quite the wake up call, man.
Right.
I got to the point where it was like, if I'm going to die on a treadmill or under a stack of weights or something. It's not going to be on my couch.
Yeah.
And so, from that point, just kind of started trying to make, eating healthy and some type of physical activity a priority, and just at least an hour a day, and I'm trying to get back to those same principles I had before, and it's slowly getting there.
Well, this is probably gonna sound pretty lame, but I've watched some of the shows on The Biggest Loser, and like you see when you're that big. Like, dude, the weight just drops dramatically.
Yeah, it flies off.
But then it's like, I would figure it's almost like a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like you get to the point where you're like, all right, I lost 15 pounds last week, and then you weigh yourself and you're like, what, 5?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it gets to that point.
Yeah. You get. I weigh myself. When I'm on my zone, I weigh myself about once a week. Usually it's every Monday. Yeah. And that way it gives me, I don't mess up on the weekends. And I try not to get obsessed with the scale, because I know, water and everything fluctuates,
muscle as well weighs more.
All those things. There's, all these things that contribute, and so you try not to obsess with the number. It's more so kind of like how your clothes fit.
The figure, right? That's what matters.
Exactly.
Someone who weighs, someone could weigh exactly the same, but they look different than the other person.
Well, and it's all whatever you're working towards, right? So if you're working towards,
just to fit in your pants or however.
If you're working towards, getting, running a faster mile or
not dying,
right? Not dying,
you were able to get to Monday so you could weigh yourself. That's progress. Like you're all like that's really what. At least the last time I was at the gym, that's kind of what I was doing. Like, I'd weigh myself just to kind of like, just for giggles, really. I wasn't really paying attention because that wasn't really my goal. My goal is like, okay, like I have a certain, like, I would log my workouts at like, you know, what I was able to do, and then try to better that like slowly. And that's what I would look at. You know, if you're doing those things and you're getting better, yeah, your body's going to change. Maybe you're going to have, maybe you're going to weigh the same, but maybe you'll have a little bit more muscle, or you know, whatever. Maybe you drank more water that day, or whatever.
Not to be a dick or anything, but I have the opposite problem of weight. I have a hard time gaining weight.
You know, and that's funny. You know, a lot of people, you know, talk about that, but it's one of those things. Sometimes it's as hard to gain weight as it is to lose weight. You know?
Yeah. So, and a lot of people are like, oh, come over to my house, and I've taken up that challenge, and they just can't. But one thing that did work is, you know, going to the gym, lifting, and you know, eating. Well, I eat a lot.
That was that's the important part, I think. And you know, obviously I'm not a nutritionist or anything, but just from just doing, you know, when I was working out, and I took it a lot more seriously. It's just, you know, the types of food you eat, like the you know, it's not just the amount of food or whatever. It's you want to get nutrition, not just like food.
And
it's literally 90%, you know, of weight loss and, you know, health happens in the kitchen. You know?
Really does.
It's, you know, you can not go to the gym and eat healthy and eat clean, and you can look really good. You know, you can go to the gym, work out, you know, 3-4 hours a day, and you know, then go eat a pizza. You're still gonna look like crap. You're still gonna look like a fat sack, sack of shit.
That's where I'm at. Except for the working out part.
The thing is, I'm conscious about what I eat, because when I was about 20 or 21, I ended up, you know, with the really bad stomach pains, like really bad heartburn. I would wake up in the middle of the night. So I had to change my diet around because I had a pre-ulcer.
Okay.
And so I went to the doctors. You know, they did a X-ray and this. And I had to drink that barium. Barium's nasty, man. So nasty. Anyway, I had to drink the barium, did an X-ray, and like, oh well, here, you know, I think they prescribed Prilosec. And I read up on Prilosec, and pretty much Prilosec, what it does, it helps with the symptoms, but it doesn't treat what's going on.
Well, most medications that people are prescribed these days, they just mask the issues. They don't, treat it. They just mask it because, you know, honestly, there's no money in the cure of anything.
No, there isn't.
True.
You know?
And so my parents took me to go see a nutritionist, and I had to change my diet around.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing processed, nothing fried. No grains, no anything that would irritate my bowels, nothing like that. So it's pretty much, I was on a very strict diet, and since then, like,
it's funny. I remember when you were going through it. Yeah, because you're like, you changed your whole.
I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. Use of illicit drugs or whatnot. I had to stop all that cold turkey. So when someone tells me it's hard to quit, I'm like, dude, I've done it. I'm sure it's hard for some people. For me, it was easy to quit, but I had to change my diet. And you're right. Diet
is hard.
It's hard. It's very important.
The foods we eat these days, they're loaded with chemicals that almost mimic, you know, drugs. You become very addicted to carbs. You become very addicted to sugars. Sugar, especially.
Exactly, I think sugar is almost like a drug. It has the same effects as like cocaine and stuff.
Yeah, it triggers things in your brain that cause you to crave it for days after. That's why, you know, when you switch over to, say, like a low carb, you know, Atkins or paleo style diet, and you get rid of those processed sugars, you know, people get very cranky. They get irritable. You know,
they're going through this detox method, man.
It is. It's like withdrawals. You know?
That's what it is.
Especially carbs, man. Carbs are specifically like, I've known people that like will do that. They'll be like training for something, or you know, like you know, bodybuilding or whatever. And it's like they cut down their carbs massively, and just, dude, the attitude, like it definitely affects you. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, eating sugars and carbs, you know, it gives you almost the same effect as, you know, like, you know, sex and things like that.
Yeah, makes you fat and happy.
It does. It really literally does. And you become addicted to the, you know, those dopamines that are released when you eat those carbs.
Exactly.
You know, my weakness is, you know, I like crunchy, salty things. Popcorn, chips, you know,
salted caramel.
Like that.
That's my girlfriend's weakness. She loves salted caramel.
No,
sounds good.
Pumpkin spice, actually.
It's white girl season.
It is that time.
I did wear my Uggs.
Oh, no, you did.
There you go. That's why they were so soft.
So, you know, we always refer back to Joe Rogan podcast. He talked about that, how, you know, I guess the sugar industry paid off doctors or scientists or something like that to say that saturated fats are bad for you and this is that, when in fact they're not. I
Well,
guess,
yeah.
or something
Well,
like that.
I mean, that's the thing is you see a lot of the focus now, now, Atkins was big for a while, and now a lot of more people are doing the ketogenic diet.
I'm trying to start that. I'm like off and on it right now.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny when you cut down carbs, you can increase your your fat intake. And I've got some pretty good recipes where it's like heavy cream, bacon, and a handful of spinach. And I got a coworker right now, and she's dropping weight pretty good on the keto diet, but she's very disciplined right now.
Yeah.
My head's still kind of like I'm almost there, but not quite.
Yeah.
So I keep I feel like a card that's continuously trying to start.
Yeah. It's like almost
I'm almost caught, but it didn't.
no.
Almost there.
Almost,
Yeah.
So I
You'll
feel
get
like,
there.
but I've done diets like that before. Atkins, I lost a majority of my weight doing Atkins style, eating, literally like, half a dozen eggs for breakfast, And, I remember when Dr. Atkins died and everybody was like, let's do his autopsy. I bet his arteries are clogged. And they did his autopsy and he was healthy as a horse.
Nice.
And he died of a head impact from slipping and falling.
Oh shit.
Wow.
like Billy Mays.
He spilled some butter on the floor and slipped on it.
Yeah.
Did Billy Mays die that way?
Yeah, he hit himself. Didn't he hit himself like on an airplane or something? He hit his head.
Something like that.
And then like a couple days later he ended up
Oh,
dying.
that's right.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. No. there was
there was no more after that.
That was awesome.
There was no more. That was it.
So Will, let me get your opinion on the positive. What's it? Body positive movement. What's it called? The
The what?
Body positive movement?
is that what it's
Or-
called?
I think
so.
so.
where they try to say that it's okay to be like whatever your
Well,
body
I mean,
is.
it's one thing to be confident in yourself and happy with the way you look.
Yeah.
But, it all boils down to your health.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, pudgy and overweight but healthy and you're confident in yourself, more power to you. That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
But,
Yeah, I see.
if you're
something like that.
overweight but you're, coming up on diabetes, you're hypoglycemic, you're having all these health issues, then it's not so much about being confident in the way you look. Look at your health. You're shortening your lifespan.
But I'm gonna die confidently.
Well,
I mean,
there
it's
you
like one
go.
of those things. It's like, you're confident, you're positive, but
But how's your health? I mean,
Right.
the health. Without your health, you're nothing.
But that's the thing is that I think in a lot of that, like, people misconstrue it, right? So they misconstrue it like, oh, I'm happy and therefore everything's fine. The issue of health is often ignored. It's like your mental health, obviously that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Your self-image, that's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's like, no, like your actual, like your health, like
Yeah.
how you're doing, how your body is holding up, like that's the important part. I mean, that's one of those things is there's a lot of people that look great and they're terribly depressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So there has to be kind of a
balance.
happy medium.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, being confident in the way you look, that's fine and dandy.
Right.
But, if you do, your blood tests and you come to find out that your cholesterol is sky high, or or blood pressure is high. I mean, you can, die of high blood pressure in confidence.
Yeah,
Confident.
he died being confident.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's kind of dumb. I mean, be confident in yourself, but also, look at your health.
Take care of yourself as
Yeah,
well. I mean,
exactly.
at the same time, Yeah, absolutely. So my girlfriend, she's a sleep tech. Actually, she'll be our next guest next week. And she's noticed that amongst people that are overweight, they deal with sleep apnea a lot. Did you deal with that when you were?
Fortunately, I don't believe so. I don't remember, any issues with sleep apnea. I snort a little bit, but at the time, my wife told me that she didn't ever hear me like stop breathing. But I know some people that are thin and suffer from sleep apnea. So it's it usually is a weight related issue. Sleep apnea, but not always.
So I'm seeing a
Yeah.
I'm seeing a comment
Yeah, I
here
just saw it right now. I was
from
reading
Rebecca. She says to play devil's advocate, someone else's health is really none of your guys' business. Totally
True.
Or anyone else's business other than you and your doctor. Definitely
True.
See, this is the part that I struggle with that I don't really do. So it says, so to judge someone based on it is wrong because it's none of your business. Absolutely, I don't judge people.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody was judging.
It's
Yeah.
part of my business
Just-
if it affects my my insurance premiums.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I gotta pay for your fat ass. No, I mean definitely. That's the thing is I think along with a lot of other things is you disagree with something. Well, oh, it's because I'm this, or oh, it's because you're this. It's like no, dude. Like I don't agree with your opinion because you're wrong. Like or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like I'm going around like look at that fat ass.
No, no, not at all.
But no, she is right. Your health is between you, yourself, and your doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't involve me in it.
Yeah. And it's fine if you're confident in yourself, but when you look at yourself in the mirror, are you healthy? That's the bottom line, and that's something you have to ask yourself when you look in the mirror every day. Is are you healthy? Are you doing what you can to be healthy? Yeah, she's right. It isn't anybody else's business.
It isn't, but at the same time,
like.
if it's someone or something, and you care about the person, I mean, you got to say something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
it's like, more power to you if you're confident, where you're at, but like, I want you to be around. Like, what if it's your spouse?
It's
like,
true.
Yeah.
it's like, like, hey, like, I love you. Like, we've been together. But your weight, it's not an issue as far as like it's going to affect our marriage, but I want you to be around for our kids, or I want you to be around for this, to be around. And like, how do you bring that up? Like,
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's kind of touchy, right?
I guess how do you bring it up with if your spouse is a smoker?
Yeah.
Kind of like how do you approach that in the same aspect?
Hide their cigarettes.
Yeah.
You smoke all of them. They're expensive as fuck these days.
Right. Well, but then you can't put a lock on the fridge. Either,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, it's tough. I mean, I guess it's different if you're married to a person. You can kind of do that approach as a spouse, but like friends or just general public. Like I said, yeah, she's right. It's nobody else's business.
Yeah.
But in the mirror, are you healthy? When you look at yourself and are you a healthy person?
Right.
And that's only a question you can answer.
Yeah.
And your doctor.
For the record, I have nothing against overweight people. Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Let's
no.
bring up these questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's funny because Rebecca's like, I know Edgar likes to judge fat people. I'm like,
I know. Whatever. She just likes giving me shit all the time. That's what girlfriends do, though. I guess,
Yeah, they have to keep
good
it
ones
toes.
anyway.
Yeah.
Good ones, dude.
Yeah.
They'll give you shit.
That's what we do to each other constantly.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely. That's
Just
why
to keep all of us on our toes. You never know.
Absolutely. And keep our asses in check.
Right.
So that's good. That's good. I don't mind it. So you can,
Can't get too big for your britches. Knock you down a few pegs.
Nope. Yes. I agree.
Oh, you're confident? Let me talk some shit.
I'm gonna bring it down.
We'll fix that really quick.
Yeah.
We'll fix that really quick.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to build up, people though. And,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think that's one
Making
of the,
them aware.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I mean, I don't know that I'm good at that. Like, I can talk some shit with the best of them, but it's like,
oh, we know.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it's I guess that's the tough part. It's like because it's like, how do you do that? Like without,
Well, like we said earlier, there's a balance with everything, man.
yeah, of course.
can
I mean,
sway it away.
and that's the thing is, I think it comes with knowing people, right? Like, there's, especially if they're your friends, like like if they confide in you enough, the stuff that they struggle with, and that's like you kind of like don't poke too much at that.
Yeah.
Like that's like
The boundaries.
yeah, that would be kind of
It's
fun.
like you're gonna walk up to a stranger and go, "Hey, lose some weight."
Hey, that cigarette you're smoking?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Put that shit out.
You're in my bubble.
No, fuck you. I paid my $5 worth of taxes. I'm smoking this shit.
God, what are they, like $8, $9 a
I don't
pack?
know, dude.
I think so.
I was in the liquor
something.
store the other day, not to buy cigarettes, but to pay for gas. And I was looking, I was like, holy shit. I remember it was like $6 a pack, and I was like freaking out about $6 a pack. That's when I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore, guys. But yeah, it was ridiculous.
Now they're,
Yeah.
I think now they're closer to like around $8.
Plus, they're gonna. I think they added another tax to it, didn't they?
I don't know. I haven't
I
kept
think
up with
that
that.
already took effect.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it went up like 70. I think it was like 75 or 72 cents.
I don't smoke, but I voted no on that because taxation is theft.
That is true.
right.
Do you
It really
vape?
is.
Do you vape, bro?
No, I don't CrossFit, and I'm not a vegan.
No, because you would have told us.
That's what, you would tell us from the beginning. So
The
before
first
your
5
name,
minutes, I'd have been like, "I'm a vegan."
5 minutes.
I'm a vegan, and my name is Will Jobe.
Yeah, 5 minutes,
I'm a
dude. That,
vegan.
You must like, oh, you must not be a serious vegan because
Yeah.
it took you 5 minutes to tell us.
That would have been the first words out of your mouth. First of all, I'm vegan.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Your name is vegan?
That's how you start the conversation. Well, first of all,
vegan.
it's like, well, damn.
So I read an article where they said that plants and that they have feelings and memories, I guess.
Well, there's those studies where they've talked to plants and they grow
Yeah.
faster.
And then
Music too.
Music,
Yeah, music,
Yeah,
I've
so
heard of
maybe
that.
they do.
You say positive stuff to them and they grow, and
Yeah.
you talk shit to them, and they're like,
Yeah, no, they've seen those experiments where they've done that before.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
pretty insane. So vegans, get off your high horse. Plants have feelings too.
Well, I was talking to a coworker of mine that's a vegan, and I was asking her, I'm like, how come when I walk down like the vegan aisle, all your stuff's in a box and can sit there for months on end?
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
that's
isn't
very
it?
You know,
weird.
because
Good
I've
point.
kind of, you know, I've heard the motto, you know, the longer the shelf life, the shorter yours.
Ah.
You know, so I'm like, is that really healthy if it's filled with chemicals that can keep it preserved for that long? I mean, the food I eat, if it doesn't get frozen or you know, eaten, it goes bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, most of
Yeah,
it. I mean,
That's true.
you know,
I've
I don't
I've
know.
heard arguments for both sides. So I've heard arguments for like, well, at least the food is lasting longer, so we can feed a lot more people. There's less waste. But then you get the other side where it's like, well, the chemicals. It's like, well, what
Right,
chemicals
yeah.
are they using?
Well, you know, I think back, you know, what did your you know, ancestors eat way back when, you know, before
They
the
used to go
invention of all
kill
these,
and-
yeah, you know,
Feces.
to me,
BC sandwich.
you know, I think back, you know, it's like, you know, what did they eat, you know, before
Well, not
breads
just
and things like
well, not
that.
just
Yeah.
that, but what did their food eat?
Yeah.
And they
You
don't.
know,
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
that's another thing
That's
too.
a
Is
big-
you know when you get into like grass-fed beef and stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
taste is totally different.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really does. The taste is a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just it looks different. Like the
Yeah.
fat is like more yellow. Like there's more.
The colors are different.
Yeah,
like you
right.
said.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think
They're
more
not
of a-
as red.
That's why I think like a paleo diet is kind of like what people should be eating. You know, it's a little bit of meats, a little bit of vegetables, some nuts. You know, no breads, no processed anything.
Like he's laughing because of the nuts.
Yeah.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing because of the comments. Because Rebecca is one of those. Like she's so fresh products have chemicals too, and our ancestors also died when they were like 30.
Yeah, they died of tuberculosis
exactly,
and shit like
because
that.
they didn't have nothing to fight it.
True, but
Yeah.
medical technology has advanced to, you know,
Yeah.
with, you know,
I don't know that
But,
I don't know that the food is keeping us preserved to live longer.
No.
But today's food is also, I think, killing us. I mean, look at us compare, you know, the United States compared to, you know, countries where, you know, they've banned GMOs and things like that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, why is it that we eat breads and stuff here, and you know, the population is so overweight, but you go to France and they eat pastas and breads like crazy,
Yeah.
and there's, you know, a lot of them are very, you know, thin and trim. Why is that?
Yeah.
You know, what's the difference between our breads and their breads?
Their
and
hatred
things
for,
like that?
for Americans that keeps them thin.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
burns a
Yeah.
lot of calories.
You know, I mean, you look around the world and you see, you know, places where they eat more natural ingredients and their population is a lot healthier versus, you know, look at America. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, just look at the statistics on, you know, obesity here in this country. And we're,
Yeah.
you know,
We'll
we're
get
the
point,
we're the
though.
fattest country in the world.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. You see it at work too. I mean, sometimes
It's
when-
everywhere.
When
You know?
yeah,
You know, and then I was reading, you know, articles where they introduced, you know, McDonald's into, you know, certain places in Thailand that only lived on a kind of an indigenous diet.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the rates of, you know, heart disease and, you know, heart attacks and things just skyrocketed once McDonald's and those types of things were introduced, you know. So, you know, Western diet is, you know, is a terrible diet.
Yeah. So to it's funny because it's like, so to Rebecca's point, she's like, they walk a lot more and portion control. Yeah, they walk a lot more, but then like they take the entire month of August off and they don't do shit. So
Wait,
and then
what? Wait, repeat that again.
yeah,
Why-
that's
why
like
August?
I don't know. It's like it's this weird thing where it's like so they have weird hours too. And like I remember when we went to France, that was one of the biggest things. It was weird. It's like here you kind of expect like things to be open, and there it's like from like around noon to like 2 o'clock. Like you're not getting anything. You're not doing anything.
we live in a like an instant gratification, you know, society in
Yeah.
the world. You know,
Yeah.
everything needed to be done last week. You know,
Right.
you know, so stress, cortisol is going to cause you to gain weight.
Right.
You know, the processed junk foods, you know, all the chemicals in it. You know, so it's kind of a combination of the food, stresses, our work ethic. You know, America works hard, but you look at some of the countries, like Japan, where they, it's not uncommon for a worker to take a month off.
Yeah.
You know, I got a coworker right now. She's from China. She takes a month off every year.
You
And
know,
that's tradition.
So
for her
that's
to take a
yeah,
month
'cause-
off.
Yeah, Chinese New Year, nothing happens during Chinese New Year
because
like China shuts down
Yeah.
for like a part, like I think it's like part of the month of February.
yeah, they work hard when they need to, and then they
just
enjoy their life the rest of the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
us
You know what?
Americans, we seem to live on
Yeah.
this 24 hours. You
Yeah.
know,
Work.
we got work. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what's
Basically work to death.
funny about that though? You bring that up. It's I just recently I read an article where I guess suicides are on the rise. I don't remember if it was China or Japan where they're getting worked to death.
That's probably Japan. They're a lot more. The work ethic there is a lot closer to ours, where it's, there's a lot of working going on. That's another thing too, and this is where I thought you were going with that in terms of the 6-hour workday versus 8 hours. Like
Right.
there's been people that have switched over to the 6-hour workday.
Yeah.
And they say that, like, dude, you can get just as much done
As
because
you
there's
could,
not
yeah.
like that part of the day where you're just kind of like dragging ass and like kind of just riding the clock.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on what you do, right?
That's usually right after lunch when you've had
Yeah.
you've had your Taco Bell or you had your and you got the carb coma setting in and you're sitting at your desk and
You're like, really?
yeah
Another 4 hours?
like right now massage therapist, my schedule is typically a 6 to 7 hour shift.
Yeah.
So about 6 hours of work and I'm done.
Yeah.
It's physical work, but I feel like I've been pretty productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have more of your day to like do stuff for you, So I found that pretty interesting. Like it was kind of like the whole 40-hour work week. It's like, well, we're gonna shorten that back, considerably.
Yeah.
You're taking, what? You're taking 10 hours off the average work week, but you're still getting the same amount of productivity from people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think people take
cool.
into consideration, like I said, some of the stress hormones that
Of course.
the body produces. Stress is a literal killer.
Yeah.
It
we
can be a
live in,
killer and it can be good.
there's
Depends.
good
Depends on
stresses.
the situation.
There's good
There's
stresses.
good stresses.
Yeah,
there's
of
good
course.
stresses that motivate you to get things done. But a majority of us live in a world where, like I said, deadlines were due last week.
Yeah.
And you're living under this axe.
Don't I know it? Yeah. So that is it is interesting, at least from the work that I do in working with I work for a company that we're a subsidiary of a Chinese company, so the work ethic is very different. Like the way they do business is very different. Their deadlines are very different. Like it's pretty weird. I'm still trying to figure it out, and it's been a couple years. So
Is it more chill, more
Yeah.
laid back, or
kind of
lenient?
it's not necessary. Sometimes like the urgency that we have doesn't translate well,
Right.
and we almost feel like
Are they kind of like
everybody's
it'll get done when it gets done?
Yeah.
is it
If it's not
lackadaisical?
done today, it'll be done tomorrow.
Yeah, until it doesn't get done, and then it's like, yeah, whatever. You just kind of kick the can down the road. But yeah, sometimes that's the stressful part is that the urgency doesn't really seem to translate very well, and of course the language barrier. But even then, it's like some of the people we work with, they understand English very well. They might not be able to speak it, but most of the time we're going back and forth via email because there's a time difference.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And then a lot of times we have to take that into consideration. The Chinese New Year, like nothing happens for almost an entire month. So it's like if we need anything, we get parts. We need anything, like we better order that stuff well in advance of that. Because they get you get the whole senioritis thing going on where it's like it's coming up on Chinese New Year and they're kind of dragging ass because they're like, next week we're not gonna be here, so who cares?
Yeah.
So there's that. There's a little bit of that, but yeah, it gets to be pretty interesting. But yeah, going back to the whole work schedule thing.
I just think people here work a little too much. They
do.
Yeah.
There's not much focus on family and friends anymore. It's all about work and work and work.
Sure.
Like you try,
Especially if you commute,
you
man.
try, especially if you commute, because that takes a lot more. That
Well,
takes
there's
like 2 or
certain-
3 hours.
Well, there's
Especially
certain professions where you're kind of just like, you're working all the time.
Yeah.
I notice some people in sales, like dude, they're
It's constantly on the
It's
yeah,
constant,
that's
yeah.
it. Like that's all you do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, and it's like there's no real like.
And it's funny because you can't switch it off. You
No.
could, but you can't.
No,
you know what I mean? Because you're always connected.
Because your business phone's blowing up.
Exactly.
Constantly.
Yeah.
You know, you can't disconnect. You get home, you turn on the news. You know, what I mean, there's
Yeah.
constant stimulus. You know, stresses, things like that. Even if you
know.
don't think it's stressing you out, it's stressing you out. You know.
Yeah.
And then something that's it's worse because then your kids are trying to get your attention or something like that, and then you're like,
You're zoned
not
out.
right now. Like, it's like I'll
can't.
get you later. Like I
Exactly.
gotta finish this before like
And kids
deadline.
need
Like we're talking
attention,
about.
man.
Right.
Oh yeah, they do.
Vic says hi, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Vic.
Vic.
Yeah.
How do you say his last name? Is it Meyer?
Myers.
Yeah.
Meyer?
Yeah, it's Myers.
Meyer.
Yeah, he'll correct us. Don't worry.
It's not Meyer.
That's Myers.
Vic Mier.
He speaks Spanish, so I think he knows where you're going with that.
Sorry, Vic. No disrespect, brother.
He's cool. He's cool. Don't worry about it.
Did we go shooting with them?
I've been out with Vic a couple
Maybe.
times.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you know that one time where I almost got
You
stuck.
didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was there. He was there.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I didn't meet Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vic. He's a cool individual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
all right. No, Vic's cool. Vic,
La Comen.
Fuck.
Oh shit! Sometimes Vic.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Vic's been my battle buddy for this last few months. So
Yeah, 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 man. Let's see. What else do we want to get into?
But I don't know,
I
man.
know,
We can
we're
get to.
talking-
We can really get into anything, man.
Yeah.
Like the Dodgers. I mean, fuck. Man.
Yeah. Finally,
I know shit. After what? How many
29 years.
Jesus
Corey, what's
Christ.
going on with him?
They don't.
They're going to the
That
World
World
Cup,
Cup.
bro.
Yeah.
They're going to the World Cup.
The
Yeah.
World Cup,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
They
They're
qualified
playing in
for
Russia.
the Olympics.
Oh, they're finally scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, they've got enough touchdowns. That one field goal they scored last night
Awesome.
really put them over the top.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
Not,
Vic,
not true, Vic. No, you're a cool individual, man. It's not just
Yeah.
because you're watching.
yeah. When have you known us not to talk shit?
Right.
This is true.
At least me. If you're shitty, I'll tell you you're shitty.
Yeah, that's the one thing
that's
about
true.
Larry. That's one thing I appreciate about
Me
Larry.
too.
He's very straightforward.
Yeah.
Since the first time I met him, he'll tell you how it is, so
It's true.
Right.
you respect that.
You need people like that in your life.
And you do
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Y neta.
Yeah. So I don't know. What else? I don't really want to get into the whole. So
To what?
I don't know. Do we want to get into that?
What?
The whole Vegas thing and the upcoming legislation and
Oh, the
stuff that's going
whole.
on. The reaction to it, basically.
Right.
You're gonna get that reaction, man. I mean,
Yeah.
people don't
Knee jerk.
understand. And
It's all knee jerk.
like we talked about it before, didn't we? I mean, as far as like how it's all just emotional, it's not
is.
logical
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, it's a shitty thing that happened. Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree. I don't think it's a good thing that happened, but
Should I bust my tinfoil hat out now? Or
there are a lot of
We're-
conspiracy theories.
We're open, dude. We're trying to get some. Well,
That valet guy, he's missing.
no,
Where'd he go?
No, he came back.
Oh, he came back.
Not the. Was it the valet guy or
I
was it
don't know.
security guy?
Was
the
security guy? Security
it
guy's
was a
missing.
security guy.
Yeah.
That's no.
He's not missing anymore. He went on Ellen,
Yeah.
which is kind of a weird. Yeah, if I want to get interviewed, I'm going to get interviewed by Ellen. Okay, like that seemed kind of weird to me. Like
Dude, that girl has a good style.
yeah, I guess.
Maybe that's what he went there for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Style tips.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
hold out for Howard Stern. He does good
Yeah.
interviews. That dude is a fucking king of interviews,
Oh my
dude.
God. Yeah, he is.
He's crazy.
I see some random ass videos sometimes of his. Like last time it was like the smallest penis contest, and then today I saw the.
Were you seeing if you can qualify, or was it like,
I would totally qualify. No, it was the wig. It was like a wigger, like the biggest wigger contest.
no? But like,
that.
yeah, no. That was more. Those are older like videos.
Yeah.
Like,
What does
if
he have
you
now,
listen to
though?
more of his recent stuff, like,
Joby won that.
oh damn,
what is it?
It was a big. He says Joby won that.
well, at least he can see it now, so that's
Yeah.
that's the important part. But no, he does a lot more. He does a lot more interviews of like more people. He used to do a lot of them kind of to fill in, like people know him for like all the stuff like that, like the weird contests and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But like if you ever listen to like some of his interviews of like, I don't know, pick somebody from, that does music, like,
Yeah.
dude, like one of the last interviews I listened to, like he interviewed Madonna. Like, and it's like, I have no interest in Madonna or whatever, but I just listen to the interview just because, you know, he's a good interviewer. The guy's really good at what he does. So that's.
Well, he's very straightforward.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more than that though. Like he really there's some silliness there, but he's like, you have to check out some of his interviews.
I saw him interview Richard Simmons. And he made him cry.
Yeah, it's like, you know, seriously, how do you make Richard Simmons cry?
He did. He did. He made Richard Simmons cry. He asked about his sexuality.
So wasn't that so? There's speaking of conspiracy theories, that was one of them because he was missing for a while.
Wait, Richard Simmons?
Really?
Was he in Vegas? Wait, what?
No,
No. Oh.
no. This was like but like so there was a conspiracy theory going around that he was transitioning.
Really?
Yeah, and he turns out he wasn't, but like, you know, I don't know what it was, but like people would somebody noticed and they said, "Have you noticed we haven't heard from this guy in the past couple of years? Like, he's not dead. Like, well, what happened to him?
He's working on his new,
workout video.
Yeah,
I'm a pony. I'm a pony.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was, but I think he came back and he kind of said, you know, no, I'm not transitioning. I'm fine the way I am. He's just.
I mean, some people just want to get off the grid sometimes. When you're a celebrity, people know you.
Right.
Just need to unwind and need to disconnect.
Especially
People are
those.
so sophisticated. See, I can't talk today.
Eddie, keep drinking those.
I know. Fill me up again.
Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll hurt. But
Maybe
we'll find out.
We will find
We'll
out.
have a good time doing it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a big Madonna fan, Vic.
I love Madonna.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
like a virgin or what?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said you secretly sing like a virgin. Yeah, not secretly. That's my karaoke song. Yeah,
All right, let's hear it.
That's not. We need more whiskey. Maybe if we get more whiskey.
You know how we do the contest on the bottle? Not the contest, but we see how much we like the bottle by.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I know, right? I was looking at it right now.
Yeah,
that just gauges how good the whiskey is. It's not a contest. It's just a gauge.
That's just our that's a scoring system. Is if we get to the end of the podcast and it's like, you know, like right here, it's like, maybe it wasn't that good,
right?
Yeah.
But this one's going down quickly, so
it really is.
Yeah.
I wasn't lying to you guys. I would never lie to you guys.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
No, yeah, because on the whiskey vault,
Yeah,
they had some really good things to say about this whiskey.
yeah. That's one of the things that they mentioned, that, you know, they liked this one more than the Toki, and we were like, wow, the Toki's really good, so this must be really, really good.
Where do you find this one at?
This whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, I found that at El Cerrito liquor store in Corona.
yeah. Their selection is pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
I went there a couple of days ago. It was wow.
What's it run for a bottle?
75.
Okay.
Yeah. The prices vary because it's kind of hard to find. Like, I think the low end is probably like around 60 to 75. Like, I wouldn't pay more than 75 for it.
I know somebody was posting on Facebook, you know, they saw some stuff at Costco, you know, Japanese whiskey there at Costco.
Yeah. The Toki that we buy at Costco, that one's 35.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which is, I mean, well, for the price point, it's really good.
For the price point and the quality, I mean, it's really good. It's good whiskey.
Yeah, it's good.
But if you really want some really good whiskey for like more bang for your buck, I would go with Henry McKenna.
That's
the
bourbons.
one,
The bourbons. There's a lot of bourbons, dude, that we still have to try.
Oh,
I kind of want to get away from them for a little bit. And,
I do too.
Yeah,
But we still got that Eagle Rare,
I know.
Yeah.
which is also from the Buffalo Trace, right?
yeah. The Buffalo Trace makes
Distillery.
them.
And Buffalo
Yeah.
Trace is amazing.
Yeah.
Now too.
So that's the thing. Is that's partially my fault because I'm just like, oh, I want to try this one and I want to try this one, and it ended up being a whole bunch of bourbons because they were just really good.
So if you don't know Larry, he likes to nerd out, and once he gets into a subject, he'll like dive in there, like
Yeah.
balls deep.
Yeah, there's a ton of reading and that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, I'm trying to take a break from bourbons. Just I'm sure once I go back to them, they'll appreciate them much more.
Right.
But there's a lot of Scotch we haven't tried. There's different regions of Scotch. There's a particular Scotch that I want to try, and it's fairly common. It's easy to get. It's very inexpensive. One of the descriptions that was given, it was described as a mermaid's bathwater.
What?
Mermaid
So
bathwater.
you can figure out what that might mean in a positive way. Like they described it being that in a positive way.
Right.
No, I would imagine so. Because I mean, did you guys ever watch Splash? I know you watched Splash.
Years ago.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
You never watched Splash?
I don't think I did.
With the don't lie.
No, seriously, I don't know what you're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
Me neither.
Mermaid in New York.
No, I never watched it.
With the
I forget her name.
yeah, what was her name?
I forget.
Oh Lord, I forgot her name.
We're gonna have to goggle it.
I'm gonna goggle it. Hold on just a second. We'll be right back. No,
Yeah.
yes, keep on talking. I'm gonna goggle it while you talk. I'm gonna look this up because it's gonna bother me. But it's with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I remember
Hey,
that.
what was his name
Oh,
again?
see, you know, it took
years ago.
It took Vic longer to bring that up than I thought it would. Is the coconut rum?
Coconut rum. Wait, what?
Coconut rum.
We
Oh my
almost
God.
we almost did that. It's kind of an inside joke in the whole.
Well, we gotta hear about it now, guys.
It's not a good joke. It's not a good joke.
Well, it's not that it's a good joke. It's just there's got to be a good story behind this.
It's really not. It's really not a good story.
Let's just say it ended in divorce.
Yeah, it was part of a divorce story. So that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Well, let's just say there we go. Oh, yeah, there you
her
go.
name is Daryl
Daryl Hannah.
Hannah.
Who's he?
That's an interesting name, but she was fine as fuck in that movie.
Back in the day,
G-Bus.
I just vaguely remember. It's been a minute since I watched it.
I remember. Oh, I remember.
Vic is saying it was a great fucking story. Okay, but
Hey, if Vic says it's a great story, it's got to
well, it was at least from what I remember it, right? So it was like
Alright, so
kind of. Well, you were
so
there.
Here's what happened. Yeah, I was there.
So what happened was.
Well, what happened
You see the way my bank account is set up.
So it was Thanksgiving last year.
Right.
Was gonna cook Thanksgiving dinner, and we had some family coming over, and so I bought a bottle of Malibu coconut rum. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just for me, it was for others that were there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so at the time, my ex was, kind of accusing me of all kinds of different
You
things.
say you're live. Don't do it now.
Don't do it now.
So, anyways, long story short,
on the record now.
long story short was, I went to bed. She snuck in, took my phone, poured me a drink, made it look like I drank the entire bottle, framed me up.
So the funny.
Wow.
No. So this is the interesting part, right? This is where it gets
Wow.
interesting. This is where the detective work comes in, because so if somebody's gonna make you a drink, like if you're such a fucking alcoholic that you drink till you pass out, why the fuck would you use like a straw when you're drinking your coconut rum?
With ice and
Yeah.
everything that hasn't settled yet. It was like freshly mixed.
Yeah, it wasn't like the outside, like it hadn't, like when you leave a glass and then there's ice in it,
the
it like
settlement's on
puddles.
the bottom and-
No, like the ice will melt, the condensation runs down the cup, it puddles at the bottom. None of that.
yeah.
None of that. Yeah, that
So it was
wasn't
a
there.
freshly.
But
freshly
supposedly
poured
he had passed out, and that was she
drank
found that
and
in the
passed
morning.
out, yeah.
Yeah, she had found that in the morning supposedly, and yeah, it was funny.
Well, she I went to bed and she snuck in at about between 1 and 2 in the morning because she like took off, and so she snuck in between 1 and 2 in the morning. I'm sleeping, and I didn't put a password on my phone because I got nothing to hide. I'm married, right? So she grabs my phone. She dumps out, over half the bottle, whatever was left. Takes pictures of like bottles, so it's like that much left in it. Like, oh my God, he drank the entire bottle and he's blacked out on the couch. But yet there's a drink freshly poured.
Yeah.
And, so.
And the cup wasn't sweaty. It looked like the top of this cup, like this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't sweaty or anything.
Yeah. And so, that's the whole coconut rum story.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we pretty much drinks coconut rum to like.
See what Hawaii does to you?
Yeah.
You go to Hawaii, now you want coconut rum.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Imagine, yeah. So yeah, he was feeling tropical that day, I
I
guess.
was. Yeah.
It's feeling.
That's
Thanks, Vic.
crazy.
Thanks, Vic.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, see.
No, we got a good story. Thanks, Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was a great story, but it's a story.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
story.
story.
The joke is better than the story.
Yeah. All the memes that came out of it.
Oh, the memes. That's such dankness.
Oh my
Let's talk
gosh.
about memes, man.
God,
Memes are amazing.
I mean, were there memes when we were in high school?
No.
No, there weren't.
Well, there was because the E-Bombs World sometimes.
That was the
has some.
beginnings of
Yeah.
memes.
Beginnings. I don't, Joby, I don't think
Sort of.
because you're older than us, right? Because
I remember E-Bombs World, but no, I don't remember memes until. God,
what was the equivalent of memes when you were?
Smoke signals. Morse code.
No, I don't even really remember.
That wasn't
It
a.
was
Yeah,
just-
I don't think that was a thing.
It's just like all of a sudden memes were like boom, they just exploded.
Well, you know what? It was funny. It's funny because I was thinking about this in like going through Facebook and like how they have you can reply with a GIF or a GIF, however the fuck you want to pronounce it.
Some people say it's GIF. Some people say
Come on,
GIF.
you're in the industry,
Dude. I go against the grain and I say it's GIF because it's graphic interface format.
Graphic. That's what it means.
Not graphic.
No.
It's an acronym.
Is it like a GIF?
Well,
Yeah.
you get GIF. Yeah, it's not GIF or
like
giraffe.
like a giraffe.
Like
No,
giraffe.
but it's graphic. The first G is for graphic.
Okay.
So
I
I've
guess.
always gone with that.
So about a JPEG.
Yeah. So going back, it's like, yeah, now you can reply with a GIF. Dude, I've been doing that for fucking years in forum posts. That was always a funny thing to do.
Yeah.
Now it's like everybody's like, oh, this is such a big thing. Like everybody does it. It's like, dude,
It's been doing. They've been doing it for years. So LMAO, laughing my ass off. So back in the day, I think it was during high school. On the chat online, AOL, ASL, and all that shit. So I remember seeing LMAO, and this whole time I thought the girl was calling me lame-o. I was like, oh, what the fuck? A lame-o? All right, whatever. And then it wasn't until years later I found I was like laughing my ass off. I was like, oh, it was actually being funny.
Oh, damn.
Oh, well.
I could have scored.
Now we're gonna score.
All those times.
the damn time.
I thought she was
I
calling
thought
me
you
a
were calling
lame-o.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling me a lame-o. She can't spell for shit.
Why do all these girls I date
Can't
can't figure out to call me a lame-o?
Fuck.
It took me a few years to figure out.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Maybe you were
The beginnings
a
of
lame-o.
internet.
God, the memes. Yeah, memes are awesome.
Kids now they don't know a world without internet, really. Granted, internet was around for a lot of years, but for like the general public, it was really more available.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more now with the phones. It's like it's in your hand constantly.
Yeah, all the time. You have,
Right?
Like right now.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
And touchscreen. It's like what? There's no buttons. To
well, I
touch?
remember before
Or the
you'd have to,
T9
like,
we used to
all
text.
right, let me open up my AOL. Tuk, 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 tuk.
Yeah.
Dude. You remember? Well, see, that's the thing is you mentioned that too. It's like, dude, when you used to send a text, you were committed to that shit.
Fuck yeah.
To get an S, you had to press the fucking button 4 times. So it's like, yeah, the texts were a lot, so that's why you still called people, is because texting was still a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's like, I hardly, I call people for work, but it's like, most of the time it's like, fuck, I would much rather be emailing this person, but I have to call them because,
Yeah.
it ends up being, better for them or whatever.
Yeah.
What was your guys' favorite phone throughout the history?
Dude,
I was
Of
gonna
phones.
say.
Here, let me look this shit up because I had this weirdest fucking phone ever.
Mine was a
Here, I'll
Casio something, but it was water resistant. It was shockproof.
That's the one I like. The Casio. I had the Casio too.
Your father-in-law. I remember he tackled me into the pool, and I had that phone in my pocket. Still worked, even after I would drop that shit like.
Gosh,
it was like a fucking tank.
I don't really have a
And it
favorite
was a flip phone.
Just anything that works.
So for a while, I was really into Sony Ericsson phones, like when they just started
yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
And then I got this fucking thing, the Nokia 3650. It was check
Whoa.
that shit out.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
talk about
crazy.
freaking weird.
that is
Look
interesting.
at that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that was pretty weird. So I don't know. I
That's
think
something
that was
like you would adjust like the light or something on.
Yeah, it looks like it looks kind of like it looks more like a remote than it does a phone. It's
It
pretty
really
weird.
does.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing about that?
I don't know. It's just kind of just because it was weird and it was pretty unique. Like there was another Sony Ericsson phone that looked more like a camera. Like Sony Ericsson phones were one of the first ones that like actually focused more on taking pictures.
Yeah.
And they were the early
You guys
ones.
remember these?
Oh yeah, the Ericsson T65.
Wow.
I had one. I had the one.
I had one of those.
I
That
had
was my first phone.
I had the one after that one. And it was green.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a Sony Ericsson T310.
Mine was like that, but it was a Nokia.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you still have it, Eddie. Do you still have that?
No, I haven't. That's what we're talking about.
Wait, the camera. Yeah, there you go.
I guess I'd say my favorite phone's been the Note series.
Yeah.
The Note?
I was
Except
really-
for the one that exploded, but
Did you have one of those?
No.
That one.
No, I had
yeah.
a Note 3 and a Note 4, and I just love the screen size. I love the stylus and kind of everything it could do. And
I
Yeah.
have Donald Trump hands. They're small.
Do you?
So I like the smaller phones that can fit in my hand.
No, I like the bigger ones.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what
I've heard
she
that
said.
about you. Yeah. So I don't know. For me, I was on Android phones for a long time. and I was doing mostly the Nexus phones from Google, mostly because they were always the ones that would get updated. Like they would have the most recent updates to Android and stuff like that, so they'd get all the new features.
Well, the problem I had with my last Note was, when they did the latest upgrade, it would, every time my phone would ring, it'd reboot.
Yeah.
Or if I get a text message, it'd reboot.
Yeah.
If I tried to turn it on, it would reboot.
Well, you know what? That's a fucked up thing about phone updates, dude. Like, this latest update for I have an 6S Plus, and I got it forward. This is actually my first iPhone. Because I was always kind of I was always kind of, I'm not a fan or whatever. I'm still kind of not a fan. Like, I use it just because it's newer than what I have in terms of my Android phone.
Yeah.
But it's like this recent update, man. Like, I had to fight with it. There was one night where I was up until 3:30 in the morning, and I had to go to work the next day, trying to fucking recover this thing because it had updated, and then it wouldn't. Like, it would just keep rebooting. Like, it wouldn't boot back up. The battery died, and it wouldn't start back up. And I had to try to force it, and then it wouldn't charge.
I heard the charging issue.
Yeah, and it's still, this one still has kind of a weird issue where it's so this cable's not bad, but sometimes what it'll do is if I plug it in, it won't charge. Like, you have to make sure it's charging.
Right.
You have to pull it out. If you flip the cable over and plug it in, it'll start charging. No problem.
The only thing I don't like
that's
about
interesting,
that cable
because I just got a new update for my phone, and I'm having the same issue.
Isn't that fucking weird?
I have to flip the charger over, and I have the new USB-C.
Yeah.
And
it should be the same thing as this, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not
it doesn't matter
directional.
which way you plug it in.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like they do that shit on purpose, man.
Right.
Like, it's got to be. There's got to be a certain percentage where they're like, well, we know a certain percentage of them are going to break, but, fuck it.
Well, we know a certain percentage are going to blow up, too.
Yeah. It was funny.
Just don't travel with them.
Yeah. It was funny how that happened, right? So they were, they were recalling them or whatever, and they said, oh, okay, well, we have a fix, and, all the ones that are out now, they shouldn't blow up, and then they were like, nope, they're still blowing up.
Return them all.
Yeah, and that was crazy, man.
So what's the best phone out right now? Because I'm in the market for a new phone. I'm kind of tired of running out of memory on a fucking iPhone.
Well, that's the thing is, the new iPhones, now, I think the starting ones are coming at, I want to say the starting ones are at 64 gigs.
Yeah, but you know what? Why not allow for an SD card?
A lot of
I don't get it.
But see, here's the thing is,
that's lame.
Here's the thing is, I got used to that because of the Nexus phones never had that either. I think the first version did, and then after that, they never had it. But the thing is in terms of the cloud, Google had a better implementation of it because they gave you a lot more free space, where it's like I have Google Drive installed on this, so I take a picture, it backs it up to my Google Drive, and I don't have to worry about and I get the reminder all the time, oh, your Google Cloud, or no, your iCloud space is running out. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
These guys just want to sell you more.
Right.
That's why they make the freaking phone so small. And it's the jumps, when it was 16 and then 32 and then 64, the price jumps were just fucking incredible.
Oh yeah.
When flash memory is not really that expensive.
No, you can get a 256 gig card for $120 now.
Yeah, now you can. Yeah.
Yeah, memory's so cheap now just to get it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's I don't know.
For me, it's removable battery and SD card.
The removable battery is becoming even more rare than the removable SD card.
Because I like to be able to hard reset things.
Yeah.
It does. Sometimes you need to pop that battery, and
it does help.
Yeah.
Being in IT, that was one of the things that people were like, "Oh, reboot your computer." It's like, no, seriously, try it, and then they would do it, and it would fix the issue. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, next time try that shit before you call me, dick, instead of making fun of me.
Yep.
And it's true. It does work. Yeah.
I try that before I call AT.
Yeah. And then it was funny because I would get that, right? So I would be on the phone with somebody, and then before I would, there was different spots where I've worked with, where you had to go and touch somebody's computer to fix, or other places where you can remote into it.
Yeah.
So we would have some tools I would, go ahead and reboot your computer. Once it comes back up, I rebooted it. Well, I called, and every time I did this, I had this little script that I had written to where I could type in a computer name, and it would tell me the uptime, how long it's been up, the computer's been up. So, oh yeah, I just did that. I look it up. Oh yeah, it's been on for 2 weeks. And it's like, come on, dude.
You gotta
just
shut it off once
reboot
in a
it.
while.
Yeah. I do it all the time at work when it's like, oh, it's been on for like 3 or 4 days. It's acting weird. I'll just turn it off. It takes me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, those fucking Windows updates have gotten terrible.
Have
For
they?
Windows 10? Holy shit.
I'm still running 7.
Dude, the Windows updates
I
for
don't even
Windows.
change mine.
Dude, so Windows 10 isn't as bad as Windows 8. Windows 8 was a fucking abortion. But like
Triggered.
yeah, but the Windows 10, it runs a lot. It actually will run, to me, on some of the older computers. It runs smoother. But the updates, man, like there's been times where I leave my computer, I'm working on something, and then I'll go to lunch, I'll lock my computer, and it fucking just starts updating and it'll reboot. Dude, I've had it sit there for like 2 hours updating. In the middle of the day when I'm working, it's like, fuck. Like, I set a time so that it's like, okay, update it between this time and this time. But it's like, when I leave for the day, I take my computer with me.
Yeah.
So it's not on during those times. So I don't know. It's like, I got to figure something else out.
It always updates when you go, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it fucking takes forever.
Dude, like, it's comical. It's like at work, we're like, we'll you know, my boss this week, he showed up to a meeting and he didn't have his laptop with him. It's like, what happened? Oh, it's updating. It's like, oh, well, you're not doing shit for like the first half of the day, you know?
And what are they updating every time you turn it back
Firmware probably, or just
Security.
What it do?
Security updates.
Security!
Yeah.
Good old
But that's,
security.
but that's the thing, is it almost seemed like the updates before didn't take that long. Now
Yeah.
they take an incredible amount of time.
I
for
think,
some
they
reason.
do it on purpose, the motherfuckers.
I think PlayStation loads up faster.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hadn't turned my Xbox One on in like 9 months.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that thing is horrible.
It was like,
That
seriously, it
thing's
was 4
horrible.
days. 4 days before I
days
could
of
play
updating?
anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Literally,
crazy.
I left it on for 4 days.
And then when it downloads
Updating.
a fucking game and you want to play, you're like, come on, like, fuck.
Yeah, if you get a brand new game and you put it on, like, oh wait, no, you can't just like get home from the store and pop it in and start
Yeah.
playing it.
I hate the whole have to install it thing.
Yeah.
It drives me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys talk about because I don't have any gaming systems.
yeah,
Well, because my son hasn't, and he's
Sure,
like,
Eddie. Sure, it's
yeah.
for your son.
and I play too.
yeah. See,
Hey,
I'm
I'm a gamer. I'll admit it. I'm a gamer. I grew up
play-
in the era.
that's-
I'm
Yeah.
not. Don't try to be snooty or anything. I enjoy games. I just don't have one.
I do try to. There's some certain games that I'll like if they come out. I'm like, all right, I don't buy them right when they come out.
That
like,
war
I'll
game you play
Is it
looks
Battlefield
pretty
1
dope.
you playing?
No,
is that?
Oh, the
What is
one,
that?
the one that I
yeah.
live stream every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's War Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, War Thunder.
Thunder
And that
Thighs.
game's that game's free to play. It's
Oh,
just
cool.
so it's like one of those games. They're free to play, but you can pay for upgrades or whatever,
That's
and
cool.
and you can get upgrades faster.
Nice.
But I'm a cheap ass when it comes to those games, and
Right,
I
yeah, I don't
discourage
play
that shit.
I would too.
See,
Fuck that.
the thing is, it's like, dude, okay, like I could understand, like, yeah,
In-game
I understand the game's
purchases.
free and you need to make money or whatever.
Okay.
I get that.
Okay, if it's
But-
free, then yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the game's free.
But
You can
when
download it and start playing it.
When you buy a game and then there's in-game.
Yeah, that
purchases,
pisses me
off.
That's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
come on.
Like that should be an option, right? It should be like, look, okay, it's free to play and you can grind out this game or whatever, or you can pay $50 and you unlock everything.
Yeah.
But no, in those, it's like, no, they don't want you to do that. They want to get more than $50 from you.
You know what game looks pretty cool that's coming out is Red Dead Revolver. It's
Or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, Red Dead
Sorry,
Redemption
yes.
2.
that
No,
one.
I love the first one. I played the first
God,
one.
I
Yeah,
love the
play
first
that.
one
That
too.
was good. That
Yeah,
was a
I'm
good
definitely.
game.
That's one I'm definitely picking up.
Yes.
See, my biggest thing with gaming is when we were growing up, we had consoles. We got to play once a week for an hour at a time.
Yeah.
If we
Right.
did extra chores.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that kind of ruined me in terms of like gaming now.
Yeah.
It's like after about an hour and a half, I'm like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing Battlefield 1, and
Yeah.
that's an impressive game.
You know, I've been going back and forth on that one.
And
It's like-
everybody's like, "Oh, you're just now playing it?" Well, like, yeah.
I've been waiting for my shit to fucking
Update.
that's one I've thought about getting, but it's like I don't know. Like I've never really like. I've never really like. I saw the initial videos and the memes of like how
It's-
fucked up it can get.
Yeah.
You know
Wait,
what?
fucked up in what? Like,
Yeah.
how-
In terms of like the
glitches.
glitches, yeah.
But you know
Oh.
what? I don't know with the updates after 6 days of updating. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you never experienced the
No, honestly, I can say I haven't experienced a glitch or anything in it yet. But it's actually a really, really in-depth game.
Yeah, another one that looks really good. So for me, the Call of Duty games, I used to keep up with them.
Yeah.
There was really a couple that stuck out. One of them that had the potential to be really good, which is World at War. It ended up being terrible.
Yeah.
Which one?
World of War.
World at War. So
World
it was
at
based
War.
on World War II.
Was that Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of
Yeah, that
Duty.
one I wasn't. A big
It ended
fan.
up being terrible.
I was not a big
But they're
fan.
coming out with a new one. I don't know how soon it comes out or if it's already out. I haven't checked on
The
it.
World War II one.
Yeah, there's a World War II one coming out.
Yeah.
And that one I'm kind of interested in.
I like the Call of Duty 4.
Black Ops was okay.
Three.
Yeah, it was okay.
Three-
It wasn't that
to
To
bad.
me,
It was like,
three.
eh.
To me, 3 was the best
It
one.
was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing is,
And then we got Halo. We talked about that.
well, Halo, dude.
That's a whole different app.
That's another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different one. Hey, to me, when I first played Halo, especially Halo 1, it was like the same hallway, 800 different angles.
we played.
See, you had to play with like different. We played like 4 people.
Yeah.
So what we did is we had 2 consoles,
Uh-huh.
and we connected them with a cable, and we'd be in opposite rooms, and we'd
LAN
play each
cable.
other.
Oh, okay.
So like,
and
when
talk
we-
shit across.
Of
Yeah.
course, and there
I'll
may or may
get
not have
you.
been various
See,
drinks.
for me, I
involved.
like to play the single player like campaign thing before I go multiplayer.
Yeah.
so I get an
Yeah.
idea of like
It was
weapons. and all
multiplayer
that
for us
stuff,
was the way to
but-
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Mosquito.
But we all learned at the same time, so like it ended up being cool.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it was to me multiplayer. Like what kind of sucks is I get into games like kind of like you know like you did with Battlefield, where it's like I pick it up like 4 or 5 months after it comes out, and then I go on there and I get destroyed. I'm like, well, damn, you know, because there's these kids that have been playing
Yeah.
it for freaking 18 hours a day,
Yeah.
You got
and
these,
they
like-
almost die.
You got these 9-year-olds that'll
Yeah.
school you.
Yeah, they will.
talking about how they
And
did
then
it
they
with
talk-
my mom.
Yeah.
and then they talk shit. You know?
Yeah.
Your mom said that last night. What?
I don't know. I'll admit I'm an uber nerd, and I love like turn-based RPGs.
Oh, like
Like Final
Civilization.
Fantasy. No, like
Oh,
Final
RPGs.
Fantasy
Final
stuff.
Fantasy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
I haven't gotten.
I never really got into
Man.
that. Victor
Me
got
neither.
it. He
I,
was
Yeah.
into
I love
that.
the turn-based stuff. Like it's like a chess game because you don't know what the computer's going to do, so you have to make your move. And
I
I like those style of
Have you ever
games.
played? Have you ever played Civilization? Or
I've played those games before, but I'm talking more like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, those are a little bit more nerdy. Like
Yeah.
there's more like I like they're turn based, but they're
Yeah.
like more like there's some more historical elements there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that part of it's pretty cool.
See, I don't
Yes.
like that. I can't. It's like it's my turn to hit you. Now it's your turn to hit me. It's like
Yeah, see, no, I like that because
Yeah, I
it's like a
never
chess
liked that.
game.
Okay.
And you know, and it's
Maybe
like
'cause
you, know,
I
so
don't
you
know
make the
how to play
wrong
chess.
move here, then it screws up everything else going
Yeah.
forward.
Gotcha. It's like
you
one of
know.
those books where like you read, it's like, which
Turn-
path are you gonna?
Turn to
Yeah,
page
A
34.
or B.
Yeah, turn to page 34. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
God, I remember those
books?
Yeah, I remember I used to have a Mario Brothers, the one that pick your adventure one.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh,
would cheat.
yeah.
I would cheat. I would be like,
Read forward. Yeah.
yeah, it says,
yeah.
oh, I would go back. It's like, oh, it says turn to page 34 or 18. If you pick the other one, go to 18. It's like, oh, okay, I like this one
18's
better.
better. Kids, books are so they're made out of paper. Yeah. I was like,
But that's bad for the trees.
well, maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Now it's like you can, I mean, imagine trying to do that with an ebook. It wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, how would they like, yeah, like, it wouldn't work.
You can't do
Hey, you're
that.
sitting there swiping.
No, because it would just be like, click this link, and it takes you to that page. You're like, okay, that's pretty lame. Yeah.
I don't know. I still like paper books over ebooks.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
I
Paul's
do.
here. Hey,
but
Paul.
I don't.
Hey, Paul.
I don't read books, so whatever.
Yeah, you know that's the thing, man. Is I gotta get back into that. Like, to me, it's like, but see, the thing is for me with books, I think the problem is that I kind of look at them like movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like if somebody tells me something's good, then I'll read it, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll look into it. I'll get some interest in it. But it's like I don't really like. I wouldn't really go somewhere and just be like, oh, that book kind of looks cool. Like, how do you pick a good book? Like,
Right.
you know,
The cover.
but you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
You don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you can.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got a cool, you know.
Are you guys reading the books right now?
I'm not. I'm a terrible person.
No,
Eddie?
I'd done
No?
a few, you know, audio books while I'm driving, but the
That's what I
the
do.
last one I listened to was the, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it now.
Kama
It was
Sutra?
that. It was that. The Scratch and Sniff Kama Sutra. That's a book. That's
It
you
was-
can't do the audio
that
book on
really?
that one. You got to do the real one.
Where I Went Wrong by Jared Fogle.
It was an Ayn Rand book.
Oh, okay.
By who? Wait, what?
Ayn Rand.
Damn, Damn. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that Paul Rand's dad?
I know she did Atlas Shrugs. There was another one. It was it was about an architect.
Yeah, I don't.
That was a good one. It was like
Ted Mosby, architect.
It took me like 8 months to listen to that book on the
Yeah,
way to work.
I guess it depends on how much you commute, right? Like, because
Yeah.
it would have taken me like.
That was a good book, though. I mean, it was a good listen. You know.
What was that book about?
Yeah.
It was about an architect who he basically stuck to his guns about what he wanted to build. You know, in spite of being ridiculed and like his career went to like he went from like school and then went just downhill.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end of the book, he ends up becoming one of the best architects in the world. Because he stuck to his guns. So I can't remember the name's slipping me right now, but.
Yeah.
Paul says Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand, yeah.
AYN.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Ayn
go.
Rand.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The Fountainhead, I think is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
I don't think I've heard of that
Yeah,
one.
it's a good book.
Yeah.
It's very
See,
good.
and that's the thing is like if you told me, yeah, it's a good book, like I'd be definitely willing to check that out. Like my thing, what the fuck?
Right?
There's a-
That's what I was thinking
there's
too.
a
Wow.
A
yeah,
big
semi-
semi
in this
coming residential
The
area.
residential.
Welcome to Rubidoux.
Yeah. Where people the rules do not matter.
They do not.
They do not apply.
What laws?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing is like for at least for me with movies like that's where I tend to lag behind big time.
Yeah.
Because God, you know which one
Like
got
all the new movies, I don't watch. I know I'm more about the old.
I'm
You know-
just cheap. I'll wait till
yeah.
the.
You know which one? You know which one fucking got me away from doing that?
What's that?
Was fucking Master of Disguise. I paid to watch that. Turd.
Oh, that movie was, dude. I watched the previews and the
I can
previews.
imagine Larry saying, "Man, fuck this shit." He's
Dude,
like,
the
"I don't
pre-
watch-"
fucking
previews-
Dana Carvey. Fuck you. You owe me money, bitch.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. The previews were funnier than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made the movie seem like it was
So
hilarious.
the previews were the funny parts of the movie. That's it.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was the worst fucking movie. And I paid to watch
my
that shit. I was
Yeah.
so pissed.
I was so
Fuck.
disappointed watching that.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
movie
So
was-
after that, it's like kind of like, oh, okay, there's a funny movie coming out. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't.
maybe I won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've heard some people say like, "Oh, that's Master of Disguise is actually just one of my favorite movies." Like, dude,
How?
are you brain dead?
Have you
I
not
never
watched
seen it, so I
fucking
think I'm lucky.
anything else since then? Like, dude, like Anchorman was fucking great, man. But
The
the
first
second
one.
the second one, I know you have a thing with the
I
second
refuse to watch the second one.
one. I think you're fine by refusing to watch the second
Yeah,
one.
me too.
Because I think what they try to do is they try to like catch the same. They try to kind of do the same formula.
yeah.
And it was like kind of like you knew what was gonna happen. There was another fight scene. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't make sense.
same
Sequels are
timeline.
Never,
Yeah.
never any good usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually they're not. Unless
Especially
it's
the
Karate Kid.
comedic ones.
Unless it's Karate
Yeah.
Kid, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what? That's one of the ones that I have to go back and rewatch. Like the other day, I was watching Red Dawn because
Yeah.
it was on and it's a fucking classic, and you have to watch it.
Kurt
Plus
Russell,
two,
right?
plus two.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
a good
somebody
movie.
like quote or tag or something about that movie.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you have to watch it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a classic.
I was flipping through Hulu. I was like, "Fuck!" Like, what is it? I was like, "Oh," and then they were like, "Well, which one?" I'm like, "Dude, come on." What kind of question is that? Like, you don't stop and watch the remake. Like, that's
Yeah.
retarded. You skip right by that
You
shit.
watch the classic one.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know which one I want to watch? I've heard good reviews about is Blade Runner, the new one.
I've heard
mixed ones.
Mixed.
Yeah, I've heard mixed
yeah.
ones.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard mixed ones. I've heard it's pretty good. Some people say it's good. Some people say like,
Well,
eh.
it depends on the I guess the age because like
Yeah.
Clash of the Titans. I love the old Clash of the
Uh-huh.
Titans, but the new one was like, what the hell? So I wonder if it's the same thing. Those of us that watched Blade Runner back in the 80s.
Well, see,
No.
we're like, if we watch the new one, we're like, oh, really? Come on.
my cousins, so they're older than me, and they watched the classic one, and they watched the new one, and they actually said it was really good. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think the '80s produced some terrible movies, but just to me, there's
And music.
Yeah.
Some music.
some
yeah,
music.
but to me, it's like, dude, like there's some of the movies that are like super cheesy that
Yeah.
I will watch them all the time.
So there's a movie called it's not. I don't think it's 80s, like early 90s. It's called Mac and Me. It's like
I remember that one.
I remember Mac and
Mac
Me.
and-
it's a bootleg ET.
Yeah, that's a bootleg SET. Yeah, but it's like, dude, like you watch those and you're like, fuck. Like I remember, to me, that was one of the ones that I was talking to my boss the other day about it. What was one of the movies? Bloodsport.
Oh, yeah, they're coming out with a remake of that.
Yeah,
Are
I
they
heard
really?
about that.
Really?
That's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, I actually brought that movie up today because
Yeah, go for it, man.
Where's it at?
It's he needs to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh, God forbid we said restroom.
I got the whiskey.
Yeah,
Got the whiskey.
What's that?
Yeah.
yeah. Just is it just go through that door and it's all the way down the hall? Okay, cool.
Eddie will escort you. So yeah, I brought the movie because so I review checks or whatnot, and so I have to turn them into someone else. And so one time I wrote down "Okay USA,"
Yeah.
like let's go, it's okay to go, it's good to go. And the kid was like,
What is this?
yeah. And so I sent him the GIF, the GIF of the dude.
And he's like,
Okay, USA.
and he's like, I still don't get it.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta watch that movie now.
Oh, how have you not watched it?
You have to watch it, man.
See, for me, that's one of the movies that like every time it's on, I'll watch it because it used to be like when you used to have, because we didn't have cable. So when we used to watch network TV, and like on, I want to say it's either Sunday afternoons, like they would play those movies.
Yeah.
And it was always like Kickboxer or Bloodsport or like Big Trouble in Little China, but you'd catch it like right in the middle or like 3/4 of the way in or a quarter of the way in, and you're like,
I love watching like Delta Force and American Ninja, I think it was. Those are pretty dope too.
yeah, but it was one of those like you had to watch it multiple times to watch the whole movie.
Yeah, you did.
Like, because it was like there was no DVR. It's like you can't just like fuck. I missed the first 15 minutes. I gotta rewind.
You're fucked. You're
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah.
What are you guys talking about? What?
Movies like
Movies,
80s movies, like
80s movies.
so we were
On
saying,
TV.
yeah, like I was saying, like Kickboxer or Bloodsport. Like I watched it a whole bunch of times because like you would start watching it on like Sunday afternoon, like TV, and they would show a part of it, and then you would catch it like
Not just show a part of it.
Oh,
You
well, no, they would
just-
show the movie, but like you
show up late.
didn't start watching it right at like 2 p.m. when they started playing it.
Yeah, you watch it like in the middle
there's-
and
yeah,
then come back.
'Cause
Yeah.
to know when a show would start, you would have to memorize the show times, or
Right.
you would buy the TV guide.
Nobody bought. I didn't. We
Nobody-
never
yeah.
bought.
We
it.
never
Never.
bought the TV guide. We're Mexican. So
Yeah,
we
we're Mexican.
we never buy the TV guide. So
Fucking TV guy, dude.
you remember?
That
Yeah.
was a fucking thing. Yeah, you used to fucking like
Nah, I
you used to
forgot.
buy the grocery checkout.
Yep.
There was a little book for the week, and it's like and you would buy it if you
Right.
wanted to know what
What's
was going to
going
be
on.
on what channel at what time.
Yeah, that's what it was. But now you have it directly on there.
Yeah.
I have it on
That's
there.
crazy.
Yeah, and one of those movies that I like watching is like an old school movie. It's like I can never get tired because I don't get tired of Bloodsport. I don't get tired of Kickboxer.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't get tired of Blood In Blood Out, Bound by Honor.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Which the original title is Bound by Honor. I hear a little buzzing sound. Do you guys hear a little buzzing sound?
Yeah,
or
I
is
think
it
it's
just me.
Oh, it was a phone. I think it was a phone because it was on here.
Oh,
that's
interesting.
crazy.
Look at that.
I moved it and it stopped. So I'm
Yeah, that's what
thinking
it was. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's science.
I'm
man.
thinking that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Some interference.
So, Will, do you remember American Ninja and Delta Force?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
one
those
of my
are
favorite
classics.
movies. Chuck Norris was in Delta Force, and it was
Ah, yeah.
badass.
Chuck
movie.
Norris.
Good old Chuck.
Good old Chuck.
Yeah.
Those are some great memes right there.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was overseas
He
when
can
those.
kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, yeah. I was overseas when all that shit started.
All
man.
the, Chuck Norris memes,
dude. It was
the-
insane there.
Yeah, it's supposedly. I mean, he lost his virginity before his dad did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he does his push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He
pushes
pushes
the
the earth
earth
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He once unscrambled an egg.
Hey, Paul. Paul said, okay, you have to save the week guide for the Sunday paper. That's right. The Sunday paper used
that's
to have
true.
it too.
Yeah.
Very
I
true,
remember
Paul.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
that's
point.
true.
Remember
We were
that.
talking about TV and the TV guide,
When you used to.
and how like you used to have to buy the freaking guide for the week.
Yeah.
By the checkout at the grocery store, and then
You know what I used to do? I used to just go and because I know you had to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So I would look for this weekend.
See
like,
what you
that's
wanted
up.
to watch.
and then I'll just put it back, and I'm like, oh, okay, I already know what time, or like be around or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. My memory wasn't that. I never thought of that. Like I was just like, yeah, whatever. You know,
Yeah, that's what I used to
I
do.
watch TV as it comes on. I'm just very passive.
Whatever
TV
is on is on.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I just remember it was what I think that the sequence was it was The Simpsons, then Married with Children.
Oh yeah,
those
yeah.
were my shows.
Married Children. That was the best.
Oh, I
That
love
was
show.
the best, man.
Yeah.
So
I still have old episodes of that.
fun
Yeah.
fact, I brought it to Rebecca. I was like, "Do you remember?" Because I brought up the Little Giants, right?
Right.
The movie Little Giants.
That's a great movie.
And I was like, and she's like, "I don't remember watching that. Who was in it?" I was like, "Ed O'Neill, Rick Moranis." She's like, "Who are they?" I was like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The dad one. It's like
Little Shop of
like,
Horrors.
Oh, okay. And then I was like, Ed O'Neill. It's like, I don't know who Ed O'Neill is. I was like, Married with Children.
Yeah.
She's like, nope.
Modern Family.
Yeah. So I brought up Modern Family. I was like, it's the dad. It's like, the dad? Which dad? I was like, oh, that's true. She's like, wait, you mean the grandpa? I was like, yeah, the grandpa. That's Ed O'Neill. Yeah.
Did you know that Ed O'Neill has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got it. He was studying during Married with Children.
Really?
crazy.
Yeah, he'd get done shooting that, and he'd head over to the Gracies and train with like Hickson and all them.
That's
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
And that
awesome,
was
yeah.
it wasn't a thing then.
If
Like,
no, it wasn't. If you YouTube it, you can. He's rolling with Hickson, and he's schooling Hickson at times.
wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I gotta
Yeah.
check that out. That sounds
Dude,
pretty
And
amazing.
especially a
yeah.
Gracie black belt, because you don't just get that. You got to earn it.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Ed
That's
O'Neill's
crazy.
one of my favorite people, man. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is about that dude, but it's just,
That's
seems
crazy.
cool as shit.
Yeah, I would have never known that. That's crazy.
I would have never. Wow, you learned something new.
I know, right?
Wow. Yeah, I could imagine that. That'd be pretty crazy.
ABC always has Disney movies on Sunday
yeah,
night.
Dude,
Dude,
they used to do TGIF. On
I was gonna
ABC
say
or something like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, fucking TGIF, dude. Yeah. And then that's another thing they try to remake was Full House. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're trying to bring
I
back all
appre-
the. They're
I
trying to bring back all
appreciated
the
it.
wholesome movie.
I'm sorry, but I appreciate it because I mean Stephanie's got some tickle bitties. Can I say it off record? Oh, too late.
Everything's on the record.
You said to go what?
Oh yes.
What language?
Togos.
What language is that?
Togos.
I know you didn't say togos. Nobody's been into one of those since forever.
Are they still around?
I think they are
I've
still
seen a
around.
couple of them. Yeah.
I think they're still around. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Next to the Tony Romas.
Oh lord.
Oh,
When's the last time you seen one of those?
Shit.
Fuck.
I mean, just
One
recently, I mean,
time.
Chili's has like revamped their like menu, I guess, and their commercials, like their baby back ribs and shit like that. So,
Oh, Chili's.
they're trying to make a comeback.
I'll just smoke my
Baby
own.
back ribs. Speaking of smoking, have you been smoking meats lately? Or?
yeah, I know you.
That's one of this dude got me into
Oh, is that
that.
what, do you smoke meats?
Yeah.
He's actually you're throwing that brisket on.
Yeah, I'm doing a brisket tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm throwing it on about 5 in the morning.
That's gonna take a few hours.
13 pound brisket. Gonna smoke it for about 13 hours. And
Oh lord.
Yeah.
got a buddy of mine. He's out in Vegas. He's a pit master.
Yeah.
So he's been kind of guiding me on how to do this.
From
So
a
he's
distance.
Like,
Nice.
yeah, so he's like, trim the fat off. And he's like, okay, so you're going to want to make this injection. And he's like, inject it right before you throw it on the grill. And you got this rub. He's going, go get like granulated honey.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Granulated Worcestershire sauce. I'm like, I didn't even know that shit existed.
Yeah, right.
Where the fuck do I get this from?
So he puts me on three-way because he's in Vegas, and he calls
Yeah.
up this spice place down in Temecula.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, do you guys have like granulated honey? She's like, yeah, we got that. He's like, do you got granulated Worcestershire sauce? And he's like, yeah, we got that.
They're just
Yeah,
excited
that's
because
awesome.
they have a customer.
Yeah. You know,
They're like, we haven't sold that shit since forever. It's been sitting on the shelves for ages.
so he's been placing like third and fourth in like his competition. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Nice.
kind of known what he's doing, and he just
Yeah.
bought I think it's a 100-gallon propane tank that he's turning into a smoker.
Nice.
So he's got one that he's had on a trailer that he travels around with. And,
Yeah.
I've sampled some of his food, and man, it is delicious.
Did you buy the propane from Hank Hill?
Well, the propane
with
accessories.
too.
That's definitely a propane accessory.
propane accessory.
So he gave me his secret recipe, so I can't share it. But he's giving me a secret recipe of his rub.
We already told us it has
His Memphis-
granulated honey.
Yeah, but I didn't
Yeah.
tell you what else goes into it.
Oh,
there's something else secret.
There's a secret ingredient that goes into it. But
You got to rub it a certain way.
yeah.
there you go.
wax on, wax off.
Well, as a massage therapist, I can't. No, but so I'm getting ready to. Right now, it's dry brining and salt, kosher salt. So now I'm rinse it off when I get home, and I gotta get up at 4 in the morning and throw that thing on the smoker about at least by 5, so it's done at least by 6 in the morning or 6 in the
Nice.
evening tomorrow. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one thing.
That's gonna be fun.
That's what I appreciate. I appreciate food, man. Food is an art.
It is.
Food
Well,
is
especially smoking food, man, because it to me like I've done ribs like recently, and you know what? I still want to try chicken. Jen, I really like smoked chicken. That one is kind of like I still haven't looked up a decent recipe for that. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's awesome. Like
It's a labor of love, actually.
It really is, dude. Because I mean, you're watching something for 6 hours, 8 hours.
Although your ribs look delicious, man.
They were pretty awesome.
I tried them.
They were pretty awesome. You know, and that's the thing is, at least for me, like I really like the beef ribs, but people really aren't like huge fans of those. Like
Beef ribs?
I love beef ribs.
Dude,
They're meaty. They have more meat on them, and
dude,
Yeah.
and the way that when I did the beef ribs, after I wrapped them, like you can take a spoon and just slide it, and everything would just fall apart.
right
That's
apart.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's perfect right there.
yeah, those are really good. But you know, most people prefer pork ribs for some reason.
Well,
I don't mind them either. They're
I
pretty
know
good.
in the next 3 to 4 weeks, because I saw some tomahawk steaks and I wanted to smoke them.
Wait, what?
I wanted to smoke some tomahawk.
What are tomahawk steaks?
Dude, they're
They're
It's
amazing.
basically ribeyes with the
bones
ribs
still
attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them last week, and my wife.
They're already overcooked.
Right.
This dude freaking eats his meat like the way he asked them to prepare. He's like, just walk it through the warm kitchen.
Put a sweater on it.
Show it a picture of fire.
I don't know, but like you guys talking about that, and I've been thinking of doing that in the next couple of weeks, and just because I have like a smoker, and I wanted to try and just put it in there.
I don't know if a steak would work well.
I don't know. What,
You know
that's what I was
what?
gonna.
I've never tried that.
I've done a cowboy steak, which is basically like a 2 to 2.5 inch thick ribeye.
Yeah.
And I smoked it for about 45 minutes. It was at the Brumheads.
Yeah.
And man, it was cooked all the way through, but it was still tender. Oh my
nice.
God, it was good. It was
So
one of the
I-
best steaks I had.
See, but I'm afraid because if I get it, I have to do it because I have to like do my research before I do it. Because
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Well, and that's the thing
Yeah.
is tomahawks is one thing. Those are pricey enough, but like
Yeah.
you see some of the Japanese beef, like the
Kobe's.
Yeah.
the super expensive, like those. It's like, man, like I don't know. I don't know if I would want to pay $100 for a steak and
Throw it in the microwave.
And then, yeah,
I'm gonna throw it in my fry pan.
yeah, like that. It's like I wouldn't even like. I would be scared. Like just, it's like, man, I could
Yeah.
totally fuck this up.
Well, with the Kobe, I'd rather pay for somebody to cook it professionally.
Yeah.
you know?
Somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of paying for someone else to cook your food, so Korean barbecue place, you pay to cook your own food?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But
I've never been. And
There's one in
Kind of
off of a baseline. It's
see,
$20 and all you can eat.
here's
but
the thing,
then
though,
bring
like-
everything that you need.
if I don't pay money, I don't want to cook my own food.
Well, that's true.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, the length of time it takes to cook,
Uh-huh.
you're still hungry,
gonna-
so you
you're
never
gonna
really
stick
get
something
full.
Okay.
I know. I was
So
looking
your
at that
$20
right now.
can turn easily into a ton of money. Worth
That's a
of
very
food.
good point.
yeah,
There's one down here in Riverside. I think it's off of Arlington. It's called Wang Cho.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Wang Cho.
Wang Chung.
Wang Cho.
Wang Chung.
I've never been to that one.
Wang Cho.
Wang Cho.
It's I forget. It's off not Arlington. If you're going down the 91,
Uh-huh.
is it off of Tyler?
no, it's before Tyler, but
Before Tyler.
after
Sierra?
it's after Arlington, but way before Tyler. I want to say it's
Adams?
University,
Adams or Madison?
something like that.
Madison.
You know where the
Central?
shopping
No.
plaza is?
Central.
Central?
Yeah, it's right next to a Mexican restaurant, and it's like $30 a person, but you get Angus steaks that are about a 1/4 inch thick.
Wow.
All
I
you
gotta go
can
there.
eat.
$30
I gotta
each.
go there too.
I can definitely get my
Oh
money's
yeah,
worth.
oh it's delicious.
Dude, you go on one of those days when you're just hungry as fuck.
Yeah.
you dude.
you can kill
some-
it.
yeah.
So Rebecca's coming down next week. I think we might have to hit up that place.
I love Korean barbecues. I love kimchi. You know all that good
I
stuff.
heard it's healthy for you too.
Well,
it's
and
a
that's
superfood.
And that's the thing is like, so part of the whole Korean barbecue thing, yeah, it's the cooking your own meats, but like the sides are supposed to be a big thing of it too.
Yeah.
I do it wrong, and I'm all about cooking different meats.
Yeah.
and
just
that
bring
sort
me
of
the meats.
Right.
Yeah, but the sides, that's why I'm like, well, why am I going to bother with the sides? Because then I'm just going to get full, and it doesn't make
But,
sense.
you know, a lot of the sides are veggies, so they're
Yeah.
not they're not really filling, so
Yeah,
to speak.
yeah.
So I mean, you can still eat the sides and still eat the tons of
Yeah,
meat,
of course.
But the kalbi, the short ribs are man.
And the
I
thing
can eat
is,
those for days.
and that's an expensive cut, man.
It is.
If you can find it,
Yeah.
because it's not a cut that like most places have. Like, and it's funny that you mentioned those because I just grilled some of those up this last week. Because on Friday we had a party like at work. It was kind of like a barbecue, and they had some leftover kalbi. and like people were just grabbing stuff because they didn't want to leave it there because it's kind of the house there. Like people stay there, but they're not there all the time.
Yeah.
So they don't want to just leave it there. Somebody gave that to me. I was like, dude, hell yeah, I'll take these. And it was not a big container. I mean, it was probably maybe like 2.5 to 3 pounds. And it was like $22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a deal though.
It was good. It was USDA choice cut too. So it was actually a decent cut.
Yeah.
It was actually a decent cut too. And I grilled them up and dude, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used the he told me he didn't tell me about, like, he didn't talk me into it, but he told me about the the acorn.
The acorn smoker. That we have.
So it's kind of a different version of. So there's the big green egg, which is kind of like the thing.
Yeah.
But dude, some of those fucking big green eggs, you pay like $1,200 for one of those.
Yeah, holy shit!
They're expensive as fuck. And quite honestly, now that I look into it, I don't know that, like, if I was spending that kind of money, I would get a Traeger. I wouldn't get a big green.
Is it like the Yeti of smokers?
Kind of.
There's more to it. Like, there's actually, like, you can justify the cost because, like, the way that they're made, like, so there's like the metal on the outside, and they have like really, that's like enamel paint. Yeah, it's enamel paint, and then on the inside they're insulated with like ceramic. So there's like a big ceramic layer around them, so they really hold the heat well.
Wow.
We have kind of the cheaper version of it, of the same concept, and they're a bit finicky, but if you get a hang of them, dude, you can get them to do some amazing things.
I honestly think it's the lighting thing that we've been doing. We've been doing this thing called the top-down method, where you make a pyramid with your charcoal, and you light the top charcoal, and then it burns down, and it's supposed to maintain a certain temperature.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that after about 3 or 4 hours of cooking, as the base starts to light up, it starts to spike up to about 300 degrees, which is a little too hot for smoking. Now you're actually grilling.
See, but
cooking.
I think that doesn't happen to me because I light in a pyramid, but then I kind of like, once they're caught, like I kind of tamp it down, so kind of like it spreads them around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thing about it is it's very efficient. Like those like, I mean, for the ribs that I've done like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then you let the fire, like, you close all the air vents because it works on airflow basically.
Right.
There's the air intake on the bottom and the exhaust on the top, and that's where you control your heat. Because it's all like you're just controlling the airflow basically, and that's how it gets either hotter or colder or whatever.
Yeah.
And after letting it turn off by itself, you shake the coals out. Like the next time you go to light it, like I've shaken them out and I get very little ash.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
They're very fuel efficient.
After 6 hours, dude, it's like, dude, there's hardly anything.
Yeah.
Like I still have, I think, part of the first bag that I got of the charcoal. I think it's like cowboy charcoal.
Yeah, cowboy charcoal.
Yeah. I still have, like, I think I'm like at the very bottom of it, but I still have some of it.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm about halfway through my second bag.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
I've done quite a bit of cook. I've done a lot of barbecuing with it, so I get it up to like higher temp, so it burns it faster.
Yeah, that's what I've done lately
so, like,
too.
Steaks and chickens,
of course,
and stuff like that. But
that is the one thing I've noticed too. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. So that is the one thing I've noticed too, in terms of like when you're making steaks, dude, you can get that thing super hot.
I've got mine to 600 degrees before I throw my steak on there.
Yeah, and
I'll get it up to 600. I'll throw it on there, turn it over, done.
Yeah,
literally. Yeah, I'm not joking you.
Yeah, when you get them that hot, and the thing is it does make a difference when you're doing that versus when you're doing like the little square kettle grill, like that really doesn't get as hot.
No,
even though you let it burn for
almost more baking it than you like cook, like searing it, actually grilling
and it does make a difference when you sear it and you leave it there for a little bit. Like it cooks. First of all, it cooks a lot faster. Yeah. Second of all, like when those sear marks, they're caramelized. It puts a nice crust on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
all this food talking. I've noticed towards we
always do this.
We always do this. Towards the end of the podcast, we're always talking about food. Yeah, and afterwards we go get something to eat.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
That's what it is. We get the whiskey munchies.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That must be it.
Yeah,
it's got to be the whiskey munchies.
Yeah. Started talking about smoking and
I just went there.
yeah.
I've been wanting to smoke salmon.
I was just gonna ask that as well.
You know how you go to the store and they get you the vacuum pack thing of
Yeah,
where it's
with the little wood plank.
That stuff's
so you put,
delicious.
crackers and stuff. I want to learn how to do that. I haven't quite figured that out, but I'm afraid to go buy like a ton of salmon and ruin it all.
Buy a salmon steak and then try it with that. I wonder if that would work.
Possibly. I think it would.
Yeah,
it could.
I mean, you're cooking for yourself anyway,
True,
so
yeah.
I mean, you don't want to make a whole side of salmon and then
Yeah, not being heavy.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe you
Yeah.
do. You're probably the meal prep, so you probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Maybe. No, I've also been into jerky lately as well. So.
Oh, that's right. You got that super cheap dehydrator.
Yeah, I bought a dehydrator off of Facebook Marketplace, man.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? I found some really cool stuff on there.
I'm addicted to it, man. I found some really good deals.
Dude, don't get on like OfferUp. Let Go is kind of like
I'm on
crappier.
OfferUp, but I have never bought anything off of it.
I've bought a couple things on
you?
OfferUp, yeah.
But I've got
that microphone actually. I bought
got
on OfferUp.
the same
Nice.
guy that I bought a dehydrator from. I bought the meat slicer from too. It was like
Oh, that's
almost a
right.
commercial grade meat slicer. This thing is amazing.
Yes. So you get you get your bigger cut, and then you can slice it as thin or as thick
Yeah,
as you need
so
to.
like with jerky, I found that tri-tip and London broil are the best cuts for jerky.
And London broil isn't particularly
cheap.
expensive.
It's a fairly cheap cut. So what I do is I'll throw it in the freezer and freeze, like for about 2 hours, so it gets nice and firm, and then throw it on my meat slicer and just slice it up, and
it slices up like a dream. I bet. Yeah.
So I'm making like 2-3 pounds of jerky for less than $10.
Nice.
Yeah. Beef jerky can get expensive as fuck.
Oh,
It can.
Yeah. So I found the best recipe is lime juice and chili powder, just chili and lime.
Sounds like
It's
a
one of the
Mexican
best
recipe.
Yeah, it's one of the best recipes I've got.
Damn, that
I've
sounds
tried
good.
different like teriyakis, and some
Yeah.
of them are too sugary or too moist, whatnot. But
Everything's good with lime.
yeah,
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Lime and chili.
Lime
Yeah,
and chili.
exactly.
so there you
Some
go.
tahine.
Tajin también.
Fuck.
Some Tajin.
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 I like Tajin.
Who doesn't?
Tajin and tequila.
Yeah, there you go. Tequila.
No,
Side
thank you.
of tortillas.
Yeah.
No
Gotta
tequila.
have some tortillas.
No tequila for me. I'm good.
Guacamole.
Tortilla.
I gotta cut back. It affects my sigmatism.
We pretty much killed this bottle, man.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know.
That's pretty good. It's running pretty low. Yeah, this is and I'm sure we'll have some after we're done recording. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as with the Toki. It got pretty low.
It did.
Like I think we ended up with like just the very basic.
Oh, there's still some right there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit left.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny.
Yeah, I bought a bottle when I went to Costco last time because it was just that good.
Is that the Costco brand right there?
No, well,
No?
No.
I think you guys have had the Kirkland Canadian whiskey,
We
right?
did.
Yeah, we did.
Actually, yeah, on our second.
And you know what the
podcast.
funny thing is I saw this when I was looking when I went to all the different Costco's looking for the Blade Runner Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Right.
I noticed that there was Kirkland bourbon, but not all of them had it.
What?
Huh?
Not all the Costco's had the bourbon.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's Kirkland bourbon, but not all of them had it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it was
Canadian.
very strange. Yeah, no, they had the Canadian as well. Most of them had the Canadian one.
Yeah, for
but
the most
only
part
like
they do.
but only like 2 of them had the bourbon.
Wow.
So I don't
Maybe
know.
that's
I don't know
something
what
to
that
try.
is. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
You know,
Yeah, it wasn't-
Costco just has some good shit.
Yeah,
well,
they do.
the Kirkland brand, dude, is supposed to be like. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people say like a lot of their stuff is good.
It is.
Like, I mean, just random shit like white T-shirts. Their white T-shirts are awesome. They last me forever.
You get more bang for your buck there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Unless you get barbecue sauce on it.
It's a country song.
never.
Country song.
I guess so. I missed the reference.
Yeah.
I don't listen to country
It's an
music.
Australian country singer.
Listening to country music these days is pretty dangerous.
Married to Kim Basinger.
Oh.
Is he married to Kim? No, not Kim
I have
Basinger.
clue.
No,
I don't
no,
listen.
no.
I just heard the song before because my
I,
my stepdaughter.
I'm not ashamed.
Country and all that stuff.
I
so I'm
listen
like,
to country.
I listen to older country, and the newer country just doesn't do it.
I
for
listen to
me.
newer and older. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I got a barbecue cinema white T-shirt.
Oh, so
Dude.
now that you say it that way, I remember the song.
She was killing me, man. She's killing me with that.
That
The
miniskirt.
miniskirt, yeah. God damn it! I'm ashamed to know that. So
It's kind of funny talking about like different boozes and stuff. Like I've been to the 99-cent store.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
man, they've got some pretty good wines there.
well, you know how the 99 cent store gets their stuff, right?
Kind of stores going out of business and they buy them in bulk.
Stores going out of business, insurance claims. So like, you know, they'll have like a truck will be going down the road or something, and it hits a car or whatever, and the insurance, I think, buys out, like they pay out for the contents of the truck, but then like they can't sell them because technically like the insurance company owes it. So I think that's how they do it. Like I know there's stores that do that with like other stuff, with like electronics or stuff like that, but they do it with foods and stuff. And so that's why their inventory is not really always consistent, if you haven't noticed. Like they sometimes they'll have like, why the fuck do they have so much, like, you know, I was gonna say spam, but that would be a great deal. I'd pull up. Yeah, I know. Well, living in Hawaii,
isn't it?
It is spam capital,
dude. But yeah, I'd pull up a truck, man, and be like, dude, spam.
Up.
Honestly, I've never really. I can't say I don't like it because I've only tried a couple of times, enough to like. I don't have an opinion on
I
it.
think it depends on how you cook it, though.
Dude, for me, spam. So you take spam, cube it real small.
Yeah.
Scrambled, like heat it up with some oil, scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Fucking delicious.
It's almost like diced ham and scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
I don't like it in my email.
I don't like
no.
it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make
Not
these
that
from
kind of
living.
Actually, I only like mine from Nigeria. Those are those are awesome.
Nigerian
There's a
princess?
chance of getting rich.
Yeah, dude. I keep sending them money. Those fuckers, dude.
Damn, me too.
Yeah. Send them on my bank account
You guys too?
information.
Damn, jeez.
Dude, like they don't deliver.
I'm
so-
always
don't.
the negative afterwards, but
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
I make these things from living in Hawaii. They're called musubis. So it's like spam, rice, and then you wrap seaweed around it.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
nice.
Yeah,
Man, those are
like
delicious.
the Hawaiian sushi.
Kind
Is that
of,
what it is?
yeah. Before I moved, I bought the mold. So
Yeah,
I make.
so now you gotta use
anytime
it.
I do like a road trip or something, I'll make these things up.
It'd be
Dude,
good.
Well, next time we
they're
meet up, you
delicious.
got to bring some.
Oh,
Dude.
definitely.
Spam burgers. You ever done those?
No.
I've not done spam burgers, but I
Dude.
had spam in just about everything living in Hawaii.
So yeah, so you slice it and you just fry up the spam, and then that's your burger patty, and then you just put your other veggies, you know,
Oh,
the
that
other
sounds
some
good.
tomato, and it's good. Jen didn't used to really care for spam. She was like, oh, I don't really like
Really?
it, but
Yeah.
she's not as
She's
big of a
coming
fan.
around or no?
She's
See,
not.
I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it enough.
So you gotta go
I
with
never
the
tried it, so
original.
I
You
can-
can't do the low sodium.
Oh, the low sodium is garbage.
or the teriyaki. It's got to be the original spam.
I tried, you know,
So your
I tried
blood-
like the
You got different
jalapeno one.
flavored
Your blood
ones.
pressure
I
has to
tried,
be.
I tried the jalapeno one, and I was like,
Go for a
dude,
jog
this
before.
is sad. Like, yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah, there's certain things you got to eat full fat, full cholesterol,
Yeah.
full sodium, everything.
Yeah,
Balls out.
Right? Yeah, you go big or go home.
Yeah, there you go.
that's true. Yeah, so yeah, spam, dude, is fucking awesome. I remember when we were closing down the base when I was overseas. We used to get a truck that would come, and that was like the PX. Like I was in a small enough base to where like the store would come in the back of a truck, and you'd buy your stuff that you needed for like a couple weeks, and then maybe they would come back in a couple weeks, maybe they wouldn't. So one time they came by and they had spam slices in like those foil packs
Oh,
that look
yeah,
like the
yeah,
tuna
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I grabbed a fuckload of those things. I grabbed so many that like for months I had some. Like I grabbed the whole sleeve. Like
This is my treasure.
yeah, the whole fucking sleeve. I grabbed that shit, right? And I had it for a long ass time. And then like when we were getting ready to close down the base, like we were coming across like these things of like powdered eggs.
Yeah.
So they're basically just like you add water to them and then you cook them like regular scrambled eggs. They weren't that great, but once you added spam to
Damn.
them, holy shit!
That was good eats right
Hell
there.
yeah, dude! That and some fucking some hot sauce or some ketchup, dude.
Yep.
And you know, hey, it was
Over.
better than fucking eating MREs. That was for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spam, egg, and rice, man.
Dude,
It's
that's
a
all-
staple over in Hawaii.
Dude, and I was with there was Filipinos and there was Indians, so they always had fucking rice.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there's
eggs and
all-
rice.
there you go.
Shoot, over in Hawaii, you know, at McDonald's for breakfast, you get spam, egg, and rice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and
that's their big breakfast is
Wow.
spam, egg, and rice.
yeah. In the Philippines, you get these little rice triangles. They're like wrapped in paper. It's
Yeah,
kind of weird at the McDonald's.
With
Yeah.
balut?
No, they don't have that.
Ugh.
Yeah. We talked about that
I
last
still
time.
want to try that.
I don't know.
You want to try it?
I wanna try it.
Oh my
No.
I
god!
want to try it. You got to try it at least once.
I might be able to get you one.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, let's do it.
All right, I'll see if I can. I got a client that's he gets them all the time, so I'll see.
Is
if
he
I can get
Filipino?
He is Filipino.
Of course. Dude, what if... No, he's African. I don't know where he gets it
Yeah, I don't
from.
know, man.
I want to see.
I don't know that that's a thing in
for
Africa,
sure.
dude. I don't know if I would trust secondhand balut, not from a Filipino. Like, if you... Can you imagine? Like, oh, like, not even the Filipinos will eat this. Like, it must be like, it's either really good or it's really bad.
Do you want to bite? You want to bite? We can bite right now.
Wait, you want me to bite it or you want to
Bite. Bite. Just do it. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember when I first moved to Hawaii and listening to them talking. Psh, psh.
The pointing with the
Yeah,
lips, too.
I didn't know what they were doing. I'm like, what the hell? And my wife's like, my first wife's like, oh, they're pointing. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're pointing. What? With their lips.
Yeah. Psh,
What?
yeah,
What are they doing?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Dude, yeah, that's the funny
good
part
stuff.
about going to the Philippines is I like used to. It's huge. Like I'm huge there. It's funny because everybody
You're a
says
giant?
like, yeah, I'm a giant. There, it's not as bad as in China though. China was really weird because like they were really overt about like staring at you like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Like, dude,
was
you're
the
just
beard.
small. Fucking leave me
Nah, I
alone.
think
No,
it-
you know
I
what
think
it
it was
was.
the beard.
Oh, my God. The terrorists.
the terrorist
The
beard.
terrorists are here.
One guy did. One guy did ask me if I was from Pakistan. I was like, no, dude, no, I'm not from Pakistan. He's like, oh, because he worked in Pakistan for a while. But yeah, no, it was like, it was weird because one of the days we were walking out, and it's funny because one guy we work with, like he kind of like goes back and forth between China and the
Yeah.
U.S.
Right.
And he was kind of like our guy that took us around there, and we always hung out with him or whatever. And we were walking out of work, and I noticed that people like kept staring at us, like me and the other dude. So I work with another guy, and he's Filipino, but he's like even big. He's even for being Filipino, he's big.
Yeah.
So like I just noticed that people like kept staring at us. Finally, one of the dudes came up to him, the guy that we work with, and started talking to him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's asking if he's like, you're not cold? I was like, no, because I was just wearing like a long sleeve, like not a long sleeve shirt. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, but I was wearing
Yeah.
like an undershirt and then a shirt over that, so it was fine. But I noticed like when he said that, I noticed everybody around was like wearing like coats and whatnot. It's like, no, dude, I was like, that's the advantages of being fat. You don't get cold.
Well,
You save on sweaters.
yeah, you don't get cold.
You don't get cold.
Yeah, but even I mean, when I was overseas, yeah, it was. I mean, there was a 100-degree temperature difference from like the hottest to the coldest, and
Yeah.
and even like
Jeez.
yeah, even so like on one
Seeing metal sweat.
Yeah.
yeah, like
I
it
heard about that.
yeah. So you
That really happens? That's a
Yeah,
real thing?
that's the thing.
I had a few Air Force friends that said, yeah, they see the planes sweat.
yeah,
It gets
some
so
weird
hot.
shit.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, but like even like for the coldest part, right? So the coldest part of the year, like you'd walk out and they had pallets of water bottles because that's the thing. Like they have them everywhere, and you'd walk out and they'd be frozen.
No.
You know, but there was like probably like a two. I want to say maybe 2 months where the weather was just perfect. Like it was like it was like.
It's like California?
Yeah, like it's not like it's sort of chilly, but not really. But it's kind of hot, but not really. Like just perfect weather for like
Yeah.
2 months, and then the rest of the year it just sucks.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of like California.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's true.
But you get it for 3-4 months.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's supposed to be cooling down. Well, it's supposed to be hot.
Tomorrow.
No,
This week it's
yeah.
supposed to be hot.
No, well, all the way up until Tuesday, and then from Tuesday on, it's supposed to cool down.
Yeah.
But Tuesday's supposed to be like the hottest day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to go to San Diego. It's supposed to be like in the 70s, isn't it? I think it's supposed to be in the 70s.
Well,
know.
San Diego's
It's
always in the
cooler.
70s.
Yeah, it's always in the
Yeah.
70s.
So
70s is like
that-
year-round perfect weather.
Yeah, so
up there.
San Diego's weird because it's like it's always the same day, right? It's like you wake up, it's kind of there's kind of a haze up until like 9 o'clock,
burning.
and then it burns off, and then it's fine.
Well, it's like Hawaii. Every morning's like partly cloudy with a chance of showers in the morning and then breaking for, clear skies.
So-
Every day it's the same. I
Yeah.
don't know why they even have weathermen.
This guy's always right.
It's
He's a
the
fake.
same thing.
Yeah, easiest job ever.
I know.
For real.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
always
here
the
Are you
same.
gonna study?
They're
Why?
wrong. They're
Yeah.
wrong here like 90% of the
Oh,
time.
all
Yeah.
the time.
It's the only job you can be wrong at and be like, all right, you can get paid.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
You tried your best.
Yeah.
The pat in the back, here's your check.
Yeah. Yeah, you can blame El Nino.
Oh, La Nina.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't assume the gender.
it's true. There's only two.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, there's only two weather phenomena.
I don't know. It's 2017.
Yeah, that's true. There might be other ones.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
Let's not be so insensitive.
Come on, dude. It could be a Z.
Yeah, there's El Nino, La Nina, and then I don't know. They're gonna have to make up
La
other ones.
bebé.
They make up other ones.
Non-binary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, you guys talk all this shit. I identify as an A10 warthog. All right.
Sorry to offend you.
Yeah, so there you go.
I apologize.
Check your privilege, bitch.
Yeah,
God, that whole thing, dude.
I don't even want to get into it.
No, that never ends well.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. It does not. And speaking of that, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. I don't even want to get into that. That's not something to say to that.
No. Yeah. So what are you doing to prepare for November 4th?
November
That's
4th.
That's supposed to be the big the big day that we're supposed to be
Antifa,
scared of.
Yeah. I know.
What's going on November 4th?
Antifa.
I'm lost.
Antifa, yeah.
What's Antifa doing?
So I don't know.
They're supposed to start a civil war,
Fuck Antifa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting ready to go to a concert that Sunday, so.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, I don't know.
We got shit to do, guys. So
I know,
if
right?
you're gonna start, let us know if you're serious. If you're serious, pack a fucking lunch. Let's get this shit done. Let's get it started. But don't be fucking around. Like, don't. Oh, November 4th, we're gonna go sit on the fucking freeway. Fuck you.
Yeah. Running you over.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
Huckleberry.
Yeah. If we're gonna do this, let's fucking do this. But if you're gonna sit on freeways, well, if you get hit by a car, don't expect me to feel sorry for you. It's gonna happen. Like that one video of this freaking, it was dark and they were freaking trying to run across the freeway and then one of them just gets drilled by a car.
Oh, man.
And they're like, yeah. It's like, dude, what did you expect to happen?
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
That was the ultimate. That was the ultimate example of that.
Right there.
That was the
Oh,
ultimate
my God.
example of that
Yeah,
for
no.
sure.
No.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
go big or go home. Come on.
yeah. I think it's enough time. You guys have done the freeway sitting enough. If you guys are gonna, if you're serious,
I do love all the spoofs though of
oh, the spoof accounts, like
all the spoof videos of them like trying to explain their weapons and they're
just
I got the automatic killer 47 and he doesn't know how to load it and all that stuff and these big old dudes man boobs are hanging out and stuff.
Shit.
I mean those are hilarious. I can't stop laughing at those.
So November 4th, huh?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be the day. So,
Judgment Day?
yeah.
apparently
Bring it on.
the day that
that's-
Trump and Pence go down, I guess, or
Fucking
supposedly,
idiots. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's when
Did
the
they just
Terminator
pick
comes
that day out
back.
of the air, or what's going on?
Skynet, yeah, because Skynet becomes self-aware. Is that the day?
Oh.
Maybe that is the day.
But that passed already, didn't it?
Nah, too many microwaves will be going off with all the hot pockets being cooked.
Here we go, talking about food again. Hot pockets sound good.
All them hot pockets being cooked by their moms. I'm being a badass on the internet, Mom. Mom, bring me another
Hot Pocket ready? It's November 4th. Pack my lunch, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my Halloween costume.
Add a Capri Sun.
Oh,
I'm the keyboard warrior.
The keyboard, yeah.
Wait, so what'd you wear?
Okay, so I had my plate carrier. And last year, so I went and bought Hot Pockets, and I stuffed them in the mag pouches, and then I built a Hurt Feelings first aid kit. And I was trying to work on like a hula hoop that was like elastic, so I could pop it out and be my safe space.
Yeah. That's funny.
And carrying a keyboard instead of a rifle.
Yeah, exactly. So I had my keyboard, so I could talk shit,
Oh, Lord.
and then I could hide in my safe
awesome.
space if you retaliated.
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. I don't know, guys. You wanna
mean,
keep going, or you guys wanna?
On that
try to get
note,
something?
as far as food, because I'm hungry as food.
Yeah, I'm hungry too, man.
We gotta make
you
some Hot Pockets. So, guys, we're gonna take off, make some Hot Pockets on that note. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us again on another episode of Whiskey Talk with three dudes. This it's been very enjoyable having you, man. Thank you for joining us, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
It was awesome. Thanks.
Time flies when we're having fun.
I was a little nervous until the whiskey kicked in, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
That's what it does.
Whiskey will make you do things.
that's what we're counting on. Just wait till the cameras turn on.
I mean, Larry's pants are already off. I think both socks are off. Both socks are off.
Yeah.
The next level.
The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall.
That's
On that note.
On that note, guys. So I mean, same messages as every week. I mean, you guys always know what I say. I mean, as far as like never settle, grow, learn. I mean, because you're worth it. Your family's worth it.
yeah.
Eddie.
Same as I always. You guys go out there. You guys enjoy. Thanks for listening this week. It was fun. I don't know about you guys, but I always look forward to having here and having excellent guests and sharing their stories and
absolutely.
No, and it's awesome. It's good, and thank you so much for being part of it.
Thanks for having me.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Like
go out there and kick ass.
Like I said earlier, it feels like TED Talks but with whiskey.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun.
It could be Jack Talks.
There you go. Jack
Jack Talk. No,
Jack is not
no. That's the first one we had. The first
giant bottle right there.
right there.
That's another thing I got from the
We
work
concluded we do not want to go down that route again.
That's a rough night. Hey, we're gonna have if we're gonna do one of those the bad whiskey episodes, because we've gotten fortunate. We're kind of cheating a little bit.
We are
in that like we're researching these, like we're getting some really good whiskeys. I think we need to run across some terrible ones.
Let's do the bottom shelf stuff from like Staters and stuff.
Well, we have to have a medic. We have to have a medic on hand to hook us up with IVs.
Like it has to have a plastic bottle.
Yeah, if it's like we have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with something.
Plastic bottle whiskey.
Well, that's when I used to drink vodka. That was the thing. Like, dude, if it comes in a plastic bottle, you avoid that shit like fucking AIDS.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I'm sure
we
we'll come up with
shall.
something,
We shall. Down the road. So Larry,
it has aftertaste of piss.
That's actually an improvement over the past one. Yeah. No, I got nothing. I don't know. I really should. I don't know. I can't think of anything. So
whatever.
We'll close it out. As you guys can see, we thoroughly enjoyed this whiskey.
really good.
Yeah.
Really good one.
So I'm sure.
Well, any closing statements,
Just,
inspiration for people looking to lose some weight or are looking
Spartan,
to join Spartan races or any type of races like that?
You know what? Just be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. If you're unhealthy, only you can answer that question. And just try to do what you can do to be healthy and live a good life.
There you go, guys.
Awesome.
It's a good message.
Great message. Yeah.
Well, with that, thank you guys for joining us. And,
we out this bitch.
We out.
Yeah.
Had a great night. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.